Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the final day of the Apex Challengers Super Week. I'm Achilles. Joining me today on the desk is Papa Smithy. Good to see you, sir. It's been a while since you and I have gotten a cast together now at this point. But we're coming in for the last day, down to the nitty-gritty, starting off with Flash Lux versus Afrika Freaks Red. Winner of this best of 5 will be our fifth team, to qualify into Apex Season 3. There's so many now, I'm losing count. But there we go. Get that squared away. And this is actually going to be a rematch, a match that you cast just a couple days ago.
Yeah, the specifics of this tournament, though, before we get into the specifics of the game, are that 6 out of 8 qualify. So it has been that very extended double, in fact, triple elimination tournament in many ways. All you guys at home need to know is that the team here that wins goes through, and then in our later broadcast around 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time, we will see the loser of this match play against the winner of our second match of the day. So 3 matches, 2 out of 3, give us our final qualifiers into Apex Season 3 before, of course, we hopefully announce our global teams in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait for that announcement to come out. Still a lot of things being stirred up. You know, recently, just earlier today, Seagull announced he'll be stepping down from the starting roster of Energy. So who knows what's really going on.
We do not. Just to be clear, we have no idea who is coming.
I have not been told, so we don't know. All we know is that we have these matches here at hand. So Flash Lux versus Afrika Freaks Red starting us off, then later on, 7 p.m. start, so we will have an extended break in between, as this is a television network, so other things have to air. We'll have MVP Infinity squaring off against Rhinos Gaming Wings. That's going to be another rematch, actually, that we had. That was a 3-0 before for Rhinos. So MVP Infinity, not in a good spot. If they lose that, that's done. That's their last chance to try and make it into Apex Season 3. So desperately will need a win in that best of 5. So loser of this first game will go against the winner of that one.
And it feels like we have kind of 2 different stories here. Flash Lux definitely are the team that have been the perennial underdog, famously without sponsorship, have had different orgs pitch in to help them get through their first 2 seasons, likely to make it to a third, especially if they can win our first series. To give you guys some information, we've already had X6 Gaming, Conbox Spirit, Mighty AOD, and MVP Space confirm their spots into Apex. We will be seeing them again in just a couple of weeks. 28th is when that tournament kicks off. Today, we find 2 of Flash Lux, MVP Infinity, Rhinos Gaming Wings, and Afrika Freaks Red to join them.
Yeah, so very well could just see Flash Lux and maybe even Afrika Red make their way back in and only have a couple new teams coming in. Obviously, MVP Space was in Season 1, so they're not exactly new to Season 3.
And we're all on one screen, finally.
Yeah.
In terms of graphics.
We don't have to go between Group A and B. There's everything amassed into one little graphic for you. So you can see winner of this first match will advance, and then the loser here has to go against the winner of MVP Infinity and Rhinos Gaming Titan. Loser of that game is donezo. They're out of the tournament, and they're out of contention for Apex Season 3.
Such a big thing. Apex is definitely the current global standard when it comes to big Overwatch leagues.
Yeah.
And a lot of proud organizations want to make their way through and not have to battle through the Challenger League. So it all comes down to today. 4 teams already are watching on, just enjoying the fact that they don't have to be there at the business end of this tournament. 4 long days of Overwatch culminate, and there's 2 teams qualifying today.
Yeah, and for Rhinos Gaming Titan, or Rhinos Gaming Wings especially, not being able to make that run into Apex Season 3, if they lost to MVP Infinity, that's the way that they went out. It'd be pretty crushing, considering they're the second-place team coming out of Challenger. So going to be looking to turn their luck around and earn their way into that final qualifying match.
And you have to remember, Rhinos Gaming Wings are going to be very out of practice when it comes to LAN events. Remember, we are live here. Challengers is played online, so maybe that's one of the variables that separated the play we saw in Challenger from Rhino Gaming's Wings. Whenever I tuned in, I was impressed. They looked very much around the level of X6. X6 definitely the best team in Challenger.
Yes.
Already qualified, but Rhinos aspiring to that level. Still aspiring today, but we'll talk more about them later. Going to open with our 2 teams today. You can see Flash Lux on your screen. Again, the perennial underdogs. Always been impressed with specifically Fleta and his Pharah play. Imagine that whenever they get the map choice, it's going to be one where the pharmacy can come out, because that has been their go-to strategy in the past and even in this tournament.
Yeah, every single time Fleta, if he can get his hands on that Pharah, is going to go for it, and has just been showing up very hugely in a lot of these matches as of late for Flash Lux. So going to be looking to have a very strong performance. Veil as well has showed up from time to time.
The Tracer has been very good.
The Tracer as well has been pretty good, trying to land those pulse bombs, just annihilate the tanks on the enemy team. See if he can do that today. Flash Lux last time around, they did play against Afrika Freaks Red. They were able to take that series, but it was a very hard-fought one, a 3-2 victory for them. as they barely inched out ahead of them.
They come into this match by beating MVP Infinity 3-1 in the second series yesterday. So they are still in the hunt. They still have the double chance. Both these teams, we move on to a Freak Freaks Red with their Rat God, Quartermain, who won the Karaoke Challenge back at the finals. We saw that coverage come through. Don't know if that's going to help him, but he's on Lucio, so he's got the right hero at least.
It's fitting. He raps better than more than I would expect. It's very quite good.
And if you haven't joined us so far this week, remember we are on the Lucio patch. We're on the live patch, so we do have the new Lucio in full display. I don't know if we've necessarily seen the peaks of Lucio play. Maybe we'll have to wait for Apex to see people really understand the changes, given that the changes came in on the second day of this tournament. Also, the 2-point capture, indeed the point capture changes have already been interesting, I guess is the best way to put them.
Yeah, we had some really interesting things occur just yesterday.
We had a team defending 1.6% capture on Numbani, so that lets you know that definitely things have changed.
Yeah, and then of course the Volskaya point A was also just a little bit intriguing. It was like 0.1.
We'll do our best to walk you through them, but first question, where will we be going? We've seen no Ilios this week.
Yeah, we'll keep you covered. And
oh
actually,
my God, an
there
Ilios!
We go, finally, the last day. Took this long to get us over
Are
to
you
Ilios.
ready for the vertical boops, Ilios?
See, I think what happened is they were so, they realized that everybody was complaining about having Ilios all the time during Apex. They're like, let's just not play Ilios, just play everything.
Maybe now
that's
we'll
not
remember
bad.
why we don't like Ilios.
That's true. We'll get back in and be like,
By we, I'm being the royal we. I mean the competitive scene, who's always an Ilios dance game. Well, we've got some Ilios to start off. Vertical booping through some wells, what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, we'll see how much those Lucio changes are going to come to fruition here. When we do hit up well, see if we can get those boops coming through. We've had a lot of kills with the right click, not so much knocking people
Even the
off
left
map,
click with the extra damage. You're seeing a lot more kill credit for Lucio during the course of this week.
Yeah, Gabe picking up a lot just yesterday.
Battle Lucio. Somewhere Doe was talking about bloodthirsty supports and being happy.
He's just, he's always just entranced on that Zenyatta being bloodthirsty. But let's go ahead, jump onto our first map, see who can take a lead in this best of 5 Flash Lux or Freak of Freaks Red.
So this morning I had 2 goals at Kilios. It was to wake up in time for a very early call time, make it at 1 p.m. Korean Standard Time. Definitely not a normal esports time. And the other one, I bet you can guess.
You wanted to get it.
Well, I got it.
All right.
I got here, and I got it. So I'm feeling pretty damn good about jumping onto Ilios.
I was asleep. I was falling asleep in my chair, and then I got it, and now I'm wide awake.
The way it has to be. And we get Ilios for the first time this week. You know, we've seen a lot of shared map pool, a lot of Lijiang Tower, Oasis on day 1.
A lot of Oasis.
Even Nepal was represented, but this has been the one that has eluded us. So we get some Lucio change competitive Ilios. And also, you know, a very important best of 5. One team confirmed into Apex at the end of this best of 5.
Yep. So here we go, starting things off over on Lighthouse. No surprise here, Fleta and Kisu going to be running that pharmacy comp. As
racing onto the point.
Just sprinting their way over, not going to unlock for another 20 seconds, but Afrika, they want to be able to posture inside, get the cover away from that Pharah. So, seems to be going rather well thus far. It's going to be firing off, trying to get those boosted rockets in to break down that Reinhardt shield.
So you saw the different approach from Freak Freaks Red, because they did not want to just be knocked off by the Pharah. Smart of them to look for this terrain, but it's only going to last for so long.
Yeah, Phil already pushing forward very aggressively, looking to build up for that pulse bomb. No picks yet. Gets the recall off. Keeps himself safe, just poking him from the sidelines, but the cap will come through from Afrika, so no extended contest here from Flashlux, and they already lose Unis as Tidala burns him out with his Zarya.
So watching Fleta on the side, only just the one down. He's back up again, but the mech suit's gone as well. Weezer just jumps off the edge.
Yeah, he goes down, and that's going to be Modern falling as well, which means Flashlux going to have to just peel back. They'll sacrifice themselves as Fleta gets sniped out of the sky by Na'Vi. Really good start to the game here for Freak of Freaks Red. Already have the sound barrier for Quartermain sitting in this contained room, just constantly healing everybody. Boosting up that ultimate very rapidly.
And because of their taking of this terrain, it feels like the only way Flashlux can get value out of Pharmacy is to actually farm the ult. So we see Fleta on your screen already up to 73%. I think Rez and the Barrage are going to be key here because the terrain so far has suited a Freak of Freaks Red.
Yeah, you can see Tidala taking Several shots there to the face, and Fleta now does have that barrage, but needs to find an opening, but Bailey tosses out the bomb, but it's going to get eaten there. Fleta comes in from the backside with the barrage thrown down. Will get res as he falls.
6v5
can't find much
action
more.
here. Watching them trying to take the point. Knocked off his title. This might actually be the opening for FlashLux.
Yeah, Modern getting several hits,
Whoa!
but oh, a massive self-destruct coming through from Creed, finding 4 kills. Both the healers on the side of FlashLux go down, and what looked like a good fight for the blue team gets completely turned around. They still managed to get the cap in the end, but Afrika Freaks Red will have the fast track back to the point.
You do not often see a quadra lead to a team fight loss, but they were already down so many members, used to buy time. So they have the cap, but they're waiting for respawns, and you can see FlashLux have to step off the point because they are outnumbered by Afrika Freaks Red.
Yeah, the cap's starting to come through here for Afrika. Need this to tick up further. Rio already postured and has that Earth Shatter ready to go. They're trying to lock down the push forward. Not going to get much. And now just swinging away, but has to just maintain that shield to stop the Rockets from coming in and ripping his team apart. Comes in, has the tac visor ready to go. Will burn out Modern, looking for a little bit more. Can't quite get Kisu, pops the res as he flies back onto the point. And Attune might just have to get out of here as the Winston still pushing really far forward, has that barrier down. He's actually going to kill himself with the Sonic Rockets.
Yeah, credit to Kisu though. The res was a big game changer once again on the side of FlashLux, so no change comes over, still no reward for the massive explosion, the self-destruct from Creed. FlashLux hold it, and now they have big high ground advantage when they actually have time to set up with the pharmacy, and Afrika Freaks Red try to rush in. They don't have the advantage they did rushing to the point at the start of the map, and this is actually really tricky for Afrika Freaks Red to contest.
Yeah, now 66% here. Barrage ready to go from Fleta. Didn't get much off the last one, but gonna try this one again. The D.Va not paying attention, not having that right click up to block anything. Fleta still won't come up with any kills. It's gonna be Afrika losing several members. Unis down here from FlashLux, so some of the healers falling away, but Afrika is wildly just losing this fight. Respawn's coming through from Creep, but won't be able to arrive in time to finish this contest.
Yeah, Afrika Freaks Red really need to consider changing. The comp made so much sense at the start with their passage to the point. They're trying to contest the point against the pharmacy. They have no answer. They have no range damage short of perhaps the Honor, and of course the Honor nerfs are in full display. They're going to go for a last second contest.
Yeah, they have to get in here. Overtime now coming through. Still 65% for Afrika Freaks. They need to retake this. They need to have a hold. The Chatter comes down. They get a pin in onto Wiso. Should pop the mech, and they do. Creed holding onto this self-destruct, just waiting to use it so they can zone everybody from FlashLux off the point. There we go. Gets the mech pop. Throws it down. Can't find anything this time around. Still just does buy more time for Afrika Freaks as they try to clean up more kills. Rio falls, but they're able to answer one onto Unis. The healers from FlashLux getting bloodied up.
Toon switching over to the Pharaoh of his own. Kisu already rezzed at the start, wasn't able to get the same purchase. Nice to see Afrika Freaks Red, even in that kind of do-or-die scenario, make the change they needed to Toon to jump on to this Pharaoh. Lost the Pharaoh battle to Fleta last time we saw these two teams. And now we get that last second contest because we're probably going to double overtime.
It almost certainly looks that way. 81% ticking up here for
already.
Afrika. Rio goes down as Vale pops him with the pulse bomb. That could be a massive opening here. Or FlashLux as they try to pop, as they try to push in. Sound barrier coming through from Unis, keeping himself alive. As FlashLux tries to retake the point. They try to answer one from Quartermain, but he goes down before he can hit the ground. And Afrika lose 3 very rapidly. Attune and Navi both getting chunked out as they try to stick in here and contest. Rio has rejoined the fight, leaping in, keeping this contested, keeping it in overtime. And FlashLux has the numbers advantage right now. They will get the retake.
Get there.
And it looks like this might just be it. Creed trying to zip his way in, but just can't find it. And that is going to be the first round. Lighthouse going over to FlashLux.
Yeah, the tactical side of Ilya is not always a really big thing to talk about, but I really love the ebbs and flows of the first map. Seeing Afrika Freaks Red rush onto the point with no real way to contest a Pharaoh, but actually having the defense of the Lighthouse itself to stop the angles. But the moment that it was flipped by FlashLux, Afrika Freaks Red needed to be quicker to adjust. We're in the challenges, we're not in Apex, so seeing the teams stay on heroes too long is not necessarily a massive surprise. But they took so long to adjust that, sure, a nice flip when they had Attune jump onto the Pharah. It wasn't enough. Well stuck out, and although we're only a single game in, I hope we see this level of play moving forward in this best of 5, because that was a fun one to track.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, Creed coming up with quadra kill off the self-destruct, just absolutely wild.
A quadra kill, but not a flip, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, somehow losing the point off of it. So just odd stuff from Afrika. And Attune, you talk about him not rotating quickly enough. That's something that has kind of been plaguing this roster throughout the duration of this tournament.
I'm going to be watching for the boops. We're on well, so let's see if there's some vertical booping from the two Lucios.
Already Rio getting taken really low. Fails wrapping around the sidelines looking for Quartermain. Finds him with the headshots, but now will get jumped on by the enemy Winston. Modern go ahead, or Rio rather, able to go ahead and burn him out. Kills exchanged here on both sides as both teams try to posture in to get this cap, but it's going to be Afrika that find it. The Pharmacy Comp just drifting way too far up into the air to be able to contest.
Yeah, both Afrika Freaks Red supports were dead, but they still got the first claim on the point. I feel it might actually be a quick flip, but for now, Afrika Freaks Red holding it. You can see all the blue in the kill feed, though. Feels like this should inch towards the side of Flashlux.
Yep, Attune just getting that pulse bomb up, goes down. So we'll be able to pop that out, try to get some kills.
So both Lucios died first, but then crucially, we saw Na'Vi go down for the side of Afrika Freaks Reds. Didn't have any healing, would eventually have to vacate the point to only get 19% on the first capture. And then, once again, how are they going to deal with the Pharah? If Flater can run it, you know he will run it.
$10 right now coming in on that. Does have that Genji ready to go, so dash up, but overall the damage not going to be reliable enough to take down this Pharah. Afrika going to have to play very carefully around him as he already has that barrage set to go. Veil going low.
In the back line, going to maybe get the Winston, doesn't quite get it. On the backside though, off screen, we've already seen Lucio go down for Flashlux.
Yeah, they find Unis, but Rio falls as well, and Attune gets taken out. Veil winning the Tracer battle. Now dashing forward, has the pulse bomb, not looking for the opening yet. Wants to hold this maybe for the push in from Afrika Freaks.
Modern wanted to feel the cold embrace of death, just jumped into the well for some reason. Yeah, it was Primal Raging as well, that was a mistake.
How embarrassing.
See, I'd love to run that, but does anybody have any peanut butter is my favorite from Winston. I digress though.
Well, it's going to be the Nano Boost coming in. Dragon Blade ready for Ty-Dolla, but he goes low. And honestly, he's not going to be gaining much other than the kill here onto Veil. Dashing up into the sky. Actually manages to get Fleta. Now drawing the Dragon Blade. The res does come through, but Kisu gets taken down. Dashing across the well. Ty-Dolla looking to pop this mech. Won't be able to find it. Now has to get out to safety. This cuts Unis across the cheek as he goes into safety, avoiding that self-destruct. So several kills coming in for Afrika Red. Looking for that retake, but it still hasn't happened yet, and it's 85% for Flashlux.
Yeah, Flashlux really want to try and force the 99%, and then any flip will be the game for them. That's why you see D.Va buying as much time as possible. Will fall. We're tracking here. Winston back on the point already. They have a good chance to get the 99% at least. It looks like Achilles.
Yeah, 95, halfway cap there for Afrika. Just now ticking up, and there you go. Enters right into overtime as they get it.
So now one good formation, one massing of ultimates, and Flashlux may be able to close out the map. Coming back to what we saw before from Ty-Dolla, when he was nano boosted, they didn't have eyes on Mercy, and he wanted to hold the blade for the respawn. So it's actually tactical of them to not use the blade early. Went pretty well. Waiting to see what approach Flashlux take. They have the barrage on Fleta.
Yeah, just use the pulse bomb there. Veil tagging Rio, but can't come up with the kill. Ty-Dolla goes down. It's going to be a very nice start here for this retake. Barrage just raining down from above as Quartermain and Na'Vi both fall. Fleta ripping right through the squishy supports. Now looking to pop Creed. Will get him out of the mech. Will take him down as they look for the retake. Rio trying to buy as much time as he desperately can, but there's just so much damage to be offered up from the side of Flashlux. The retake looking to come through. Nano boost down onto Ty-Dolla, trying to buy some more time, but he's just too low, too squishy and alone, and that will be it. It's going to be the overtime ticking away, and it looks like Flashlux just going to have the 2-0. I think one of the first ones we've had in the tournament here on Ilios.
And that was a godlike barrage. Barrage usually often only used for a single kill and then to die, but the significance there was as the enemy D.Va was ulting with the self-destruct. He was actually around the corner, picked up a double kill, and still didn't have line of sight on the self-destruct, so was able to not die. He would have taken a 2-for-1, but it was a 2-for-0. And Flashlux stick the landing. So really nice strategic stuff on both sides. Goes the way of Flashlux, and they come in 1-0 up against the team that they dispatched just a few days ago.
Yep. I mean, we know Flashlux from their match history. This is their forte. They really do excel on these King of the Hill, these 2-point capture maps. So Afrika down, but not yet out of it. When they squared off last time, they did play on Nepal, and that was a 2-1 victory there for Flashlux. So expected to take the win here, but it's all about how Afrika adapt to the coming maps. As we'll be moving on to our first hybrid of the series.
We'll see which hybrid it is. Seen a lot of Hollywood. It didn't catch the pull for the hybrid maps in this one. I imagine Hollywood will be in there. Kings Row, of course, is one I've been denied so far, as Atlas was mentioning.
That's surprising.
On broadcast yesterday. Even though it is that super popular hybrid choice. Let's see if we see my first Kings Row. We had Ilios, Kings Row, Hollywood, and Eichenwald are the choices.
Kings Row might be the logical one here for Afrika Red, but actually will be Hollywood, which is a bit surprising. This was their selection last time out when they played against FlashLux, and they ended up losing this. So still feeling confident are the Afrika Freaks. See what kind of play they can bring forward, because again, this is another map, especially on that first point, that we could just see the Pharmacy comp come through from Fleta and Kisu.
Certainly, hard to deny away Pharmacy. The pool did have Pharmacy maps available, all the hybrid ones to different degrees. You can run that Pharmacy, especially on point A. So we'll see, because honestly, if Afrika Freaks Red drop here, we're going to start to be planning for a future match. We've seen a lot of attempted reverse sweeps, but not that many successful ones. And they really hoped it was going to be a short day, which crowned them back into Apex.
Yeah, Afrika definitely want to avoid having to play against more than likely Rhinos again. Barely won that fight, but let's go ahead and jump on to Hollywood for our second map of this best of 5 series.
I get it.
All right, welcome to sunny Hollywood. Afrika Freaks going to be starting things off on the attack. We'll see what they're able to piece together. Atune has played this Pharaoh. We saw it from him on Lighthouse, but it hasn't been one of his favorite picks. Hasn't been something that he's really excelled on. So at the moment, hovering over that soldier. See if he wants to stick with that. Maybe opt into something else. Could see a dive comp perhaps if Rio wants to go for Winston.
Watching FlashLux to see what sort of defense they're going to put up, and as you can see right now, it's actually the triple tanks. Fleta's second champion, or second hero, sorry, has mostly been the Roadhog, but it's going to be likely the Zarya from him on the defense.
See where they want to opt into. Greed for now. Going to be looking to have strong performance on this Genji, not having Tidala come out with this one. Just going to be flexing around, and now they'll go ahead and tease us with the Orisa.
So seeing no Orisa minutes. We saw an Orisa death, though. I think it was Wiso that liked to push up and then jump off the edge on defense.
So upsetting. Such a tease. And I'm kind of amazed that we haven't seen a single one yet, but I guess it's just the current state of things. But here we go. The assault now beginning for Afrika Freaks Red.
Very standard dive comp from Afrika Freaks Red. No sign of the Diva, sorry, not the Diva, the Zenyatta that we often see in these sort of comps, at least for the first run.
But already Afrika, they're just going to pile in onto the point. He takes quite a bit of damage as he dashes through multiple members, but himself safe, wraps back around, and Afrika do have control, at least for the moment, over the control point.
Fire Strike hit Creed, but that's all. Able to back away, trying to farm these ultimates. No one is picked yet.
First tick almost comes through as FlashLux tries to go ahead and recontest it, but the dash finds two
Triple.
kills for Creed. He gets the triple as he finishes off Unis.
That's going to be a very easy count. That's 4K already for Creed. No Dragon Blade necessary.
Yeah, and then Wiso goes down, and already so much percentages coming through here for the Afrika Freaks. 82% on Rio, 75 on Tidala. Grabs on Surge, plus that Dragon Blade could very well happen on the second
And it feels so good when you choose a map, you're on attack, and take it first time. Nothing invested on the side of Afrika Freaks Red, because hey, there were no ultimates up. Very soon to be 4, maybe even 5 in just a few moments. The side of Afrika Freaks Red, and you see the adjustments already from FlashLux. Comp didn't really have a lot of identity, only a single DPS, not much coming out of Veil. He'll have the Pulse Bomb in just a second.
Yeah, but nothing to couple with, like a big bang, no Zarya on the side of FlashLux. So just needs the perfect placement for that Pulse Bomb to really get any work done. Now wrapping back around, you can see the tanks of FlashLux trying to contest onto this payload. Pulse Bomb comes down from Atune, he's able to pop Modern up in the air. They'll get the mech as well out from Wiso, and he will fall. So payload's still just going to be trucking along the streets here as we move through the Wild West.
Yeah, defense hasn't been the strong point of FlashLux, obviously on the assault maps, not relevant, and in these maps also, attack with the Pharmacy has often been a lot more impressive than their defense. Comp right now really doesn't have too much of an identity. Feels like they're trying to do half and half, and the end result has been, honestly, Afrika Freaks outclassing them in the first 2 skirmishes, getting a really good push during the street phase of Hollywood.
All coming down, has a Graviton, maybe looking for an opening so far, needs more members clumped up. That's actually just going to toss it in, looking for Fleta. They lock him down, and he will fall, the Soldier. And the Ana going down, and that's both the healers as Unis gets taken out as well. Creed coming up huge with that Dragon Blade, just opening up for this push to continue, almost completely unhindered this entire time. Flashlux is getting cut through like a hot knife through butter.
And it comes back to the comp. Who's going to be peeling with the Ana and Soldier? They're all alone because Winston is the tank choice that's diving into the backline. So was the Diva. They were just lambs to the slaughter. Very nice 2K from the Genji. As here comes the last second contest.
Yeah, that's going to be the Tac Visor coming in with that Nano Boost.
Triple.
3K already comes through here for Fleta and making it 4 as he takes out Rio. 5 as he snipes the tune with the Helix Rockets. And man, what a stop coming through from Flashlux, halting that payload, but just 2.63 meters in front of the point.
We can question the setups, but man, the ult efficiency of just the Nano Visor taking out 5 and forcing the last to back away was very, very clean. And now you're in that awkward spot where contesting the very last tick of the second point of Hollywood is actually pretty tricky to do. They have a long walk back to get there. Creed's getting harassed down. He's already down to 30 health, and he's dead now.
Yeah, Modern just jumping in, finishing him off with that Tesla gun. Gets rid of the camp, so no pesky Dragon Blades coming through, denying a lot of ult charge here for Creed that he would otherwise be getting by poking out with the shurikens.
And it's very hard to be creative about getting back to the payloads, and this is definitely going to be a pretty damn big stall out of time. No ultimates, only Primal Rage to cause some disruption in the backline. Soldier's going to sit back, let it already 50% towards his next tactical visor, and Kisu has the Nano Boost available as well.
Really good spot here. Turn around for Flashlux. Already finding 2 kills, so Navi and Quartermain go down, which means that a push here for Afrika is pretty much impossible. Toon does escape into the backside. Going to be looking for some health backs to get himself back up the health, but
Toon desperately needs the Pulse Bomb to at least disrupt the positioning. The defensive setup now from Flashlux, after just looking woeful for the first 2 pushes, is pretty damn robust. That's why they've already been delayed 2 minutes on this attack of Afrika Freaks Red, frustrated and stagnated.
Trying to chase him out. You spot him. Get the Pulse Bomb now. Multiple ultimates are available for Afrika. We're going to start things off with that Dragon Blade. Big deflect coming through, but doesn't matter. Wiso's able to get him from the top side. And Vale coming down and gets that Pulse Bomb in on the Quartermain as he falls. And Afrika yet again popping most of what they had. Just get taken out. Flashlux, they hold firm and they have so many ultimates still to use.
Yeah, while we saw a Giant Ape rushing down the Nano Visor, Flashlux hold the ultimate on the rest of it. It wasn't even just the Nano Boost. The Tactical Visor still available. 4 ultimates and this really awkward positioning of the card. The run back is costing Afrika Freaks Red, and they may be frustrated for 5+ minutes on the streets phase.
Really starting to look that way. Minute 15 left on the clock.
Big investment last time. Now they only have the Lucio ult and the Primal Rage once again. We do see Fleta on the lower ground, though.
Nice pick here in on the Kisu. It's a good way to start things off for Afrika. They will pop that sound barrier coming in, but Fleta has the Tac Visor ready to go, trying to stand inside that healing pool, but won't be able to do it. Flicks back, finds Creed point blank with those Helix Rockets, but still the rest of Afrika just getting torn apart as they try to chase in for the Soldier. You can see just 5 kills coming through, and Flashlux keep maintaining this hold. Though honestly, the rollback on the payload is significant at this point.
And Fleta has been beasting it this series. Usually it's as far as the 1 trick, but the 2 tricks are certainly real. The Soldier was one of his main picks previous to this tournament. Hadn't played it much here, but been very clean. I love the flick to take down Creed on the chase. Is this the last hope for Afrika Freaks Red?
Pulse Bomb there from Vale, not going to find too much, but they're still able to follow up with a kill onto Navi. Nice opener, and then Quartermain goes down. Both the healers eliminated yet again as Vale just keeps chasing in, almost has another Pulse Bomb. It's that melee in onto Creed, and I think this is just going to be the stop right here. 10 seconds left on the clock as they get ready to go into overtime. The payload's so far away from the point at the moment. You can see Rio just trying to buy some time, gets popped in midair, and that will be it. So was 3 meters away from completing point B, and Afrika off the backside of that Nano Visor just get wiped off the face of the earth.
I mean, the seesaw on that map, consider what happened. First push, they claim point A. They continue that push. The push is only stopped 3 meters away with basically 0 seconds of delay, the biggest time bank possible. And with 5 to 6 different chances for approach, Afrika Freaks Red couldn't find a route to success. Really good ult economy on defense from Flashlux. Not something they've traditionally been able to do specifically on defense. frustrates out the Freaks Red push, stagnates them, and now it's a very achievable push for Flashlux.
Look at that. Just have to complete the second point. Something that Flashlux was able to do last time. So we'll see what they want to bring out here for Assault, looking like a dive comp at the moment. Fleta hovering over that Genji.
But where's my Pharaoh?
Doesn't matter. They want to just go straight into the faces of a Freak of Freaks. I mean, that's what got them the point on their attack so quickly, the point A. But then it just didn't translate well as they moved forward into the western side of things.
So for now, aping what we saw on the side of a Freak of Freaks Red, Atune seems to be respecting the fact that the Genji attack, which is often the way on Hollywood, will be coming out from Flashlux. He's running his McCree.
He's had mixed results with this one so far during the tournament. Haven't seen as much of it as you might have expected.
I think that's just true of Atune in general, who is kind of seen as a superstar. He's always the one whose eyes you gravitate to.
He was when they qualified.
On the side of Freak of Freaks Red, had some decent performances in Apex without necessarily matching the star that had been put next to his name. Gonna have to show it here if it's going to be to stall out Flashlux, who have a very achievable push target.
Here we go, dive comp coming through yet again. No Zenyatta, but Tracer, Winston, and Genji all set. Ready to go. Fleta gonna go for that high ground, looking to poke around from the side perhaps. Not just poke straight down in. Not diving right onto the point like we saw on
Vale
Freaka do.
taking a really nice long way. He wants to find access to some support, so only finds the Diva.
And still does rip that suit down pretty considerably. So good poke coming out, but Vale goes slow off that flame strike, has to dash back down, picks up the health back, keeps himself safe, and still has the recall to burn. So Dart connecting in onto Creed,
Fleta's
but
dead.
Really nice shot there from Toon, takes out Fleta. And with him gone, that might just halt Flashlux here onto the attack. See if it's enough for them to go ahead and heal back. They're still pushing in. Vale looking for Quartermain, working him low.
They took Atune down as well. That was the Diva, so waiting to see if Vale can either farm the Pulse Bomb or they can actually nail this first push. We're still waiting. Not many picks.
Close to it, 82%. And Weezo actually the first one to come up with an ultimate here alongside Kisu. Has the self-destruct ready to go. He's constantly pushing into the face with Modern. He gets that nano boost, but he gets slept immediately. Navi with a clutch one coming out. Locks him down. Now Vale trying to fish for this pulse bomb, chipping down Rio, but dashes forward straight into the hammer swing, and he falls at Afrika, looking for the team wipe as they get rid of everybody on Flashlux other than Kisu.
Yeah, the decision to nano boost, frustrated by Navi in particular hitting the sleep dart, because now no nano blade will be available in a reasonable amount of time. Fleta only 18% away from the Dragon Blade himself, so this may have to become an overtime push unless we see just a Soul Dragon Blade really turn the tide of battle.
They do a Freaka here. Multiple ultimates to do, and yeah, Fleta just gets picked off. Atune finally showing up with his McCree, something that we've been waiting to see from him for the longest time. You know, season 2 even. Haven't seen him pop off on this one in a while, but a nice start to the defense of Hollywood. 2 minutes left on the clock. Afrika looking very comfortable thus far.
Gonna really have to get a big Pulse Bomb. It's soon to be Graviton Surge, to be 5 ultimates on the side of Freak of Freaks Red. No Lucia ult means there is that potential.
Oh, they find it too. That's going to be very crucial for them on this opening. Vale looking for it, and that's going to be that Dragon Blade coming in, but he gets slept yet again, as you say, and Rio just swings away, has the nano boost of his own. Pulse Bomb comes down, but the Reinhardt still healthy, at least for the moment, charging through. Graviton Surge sucking in most of the members of Flashlux, isolating them, keeping them all in one spot as they just get picked away one at a time. Respawns are coming through, however, and Afrika are the first ones to lose a couple members, and Tidala will go down. Quartermain as well, and this might just be the opening here for Flashlux to finally get the cap on the point. The second tick about to come through on that control meter, and Afrika with the death of Atune here, with a team wipe basically being completed. They'll just have to concede this, but they bought themselves so much time.
And apologies to Navi, 2 sleeps on nano boosted targets. 2 out of 2 of the nano boost from Kisu have been slept, but not enough in that case. The Diva sleeping on the point meant that Atune's run back was just kind of forcing himself to be out of position because there was no one else contesting the point. Now Flashlux going to try and take the high ground. Fleta is going to change over to the Soldier that works so well on defense for Flashlux.
Yeah, Atune is matching this one here, so it's going to be having that Soldier battle. See where they can poke out here. Fleta does go down. Creed finding that kill here with the Diva to start things off. As Afrika try to push forward and maintain control over the payload. So you know what? We can operate in this choke point. As long as we don't get wiped, you guys don't get a push. So they'll just keep posturing forward like this. Creed, self-destruct ready to go. Throw that down as a massive zoning tool if needed.
Just want to stop the Streets phase from being easy to push through, given this is all they have to defend here to a Freak of Freaks Red. The payload just needs to make it till around the 2 bends, not even to the end. There's a big shadow.
Yeah, massive Earth Shadow coming down, finding so many members. They lock him up, they take him out. 4 kills, very swiftly picked up here, coupled with that self-destruct from Greed. And they're just going to go ahead and complete that team wipe in the end. They get Guiso out of the mech, they'll kill him. Just trying to stagger him as much as possible. Smack him upside the face with a hammer, and he goes down. And another great delay here for the Freak of Freaks.
And the thing about Soldier on attack is you kind of need time and space to get a nice setup, and Flutter's like, okay, never going to have the perfect nano visor, never going to be able to contest the high ground because I've already been picked twice trying to walk to the payload. Back to Genji. They may need a Dragon Blade just to push this point at all. I like the change there.
Work that up.
But now a Freak of Freaks Red have held this defensive position. The Toon's going to jump down. The dive comp is kind of on from Flashlux.
Been attempted there by Rio, not quite going to find it, and the Toon almost gets the jump. It's a tricky one to pull off, but he gets taken down.
Costly miss.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb coming through, ends up popping him in the end. With the help of Modern, as they jump forward, so that is going to be 2 members dead. And finally, the push starting to come through for Flashlight. Still a ways to go with just a minute and a half on the clock. Bill goes slow, gets the recall off in time, and now they're looking for the pop here onto Creed. Gets that biotic grenade, keeping him alive, at least for the moment. But a lot of ground being gained by Flashlux.
We're watching Vale just harass around the side. Dragon Blade 20% away. Pick already onto Ana.
Yeah, they lose Na'Vi, and that's going to be the sound barrier coming through. Most of that is getting eaten up. Idala just get the pop. Modern goes down as this Flood. His quarterback finishes him off. Vale just desperately trying to get this Pulse Bomb. Finally gets it as he finishes off Rio, but he just can't stick around by himself. He has to recall out of there.
But it feels like an eco push, though, Achilles, because they didn't use any ults on the approach. Fleta does pick up his Dragon Blade. A wipe here is probably map win for Flashlux, so that death, with 50 seconds left, it's the do or die time. This is going to be the real push. It's always risky to take an eco push 2 minutes before the map is going to end, but they're set up to win here, our Flashlux.
They got the sound barrier out of Quarterman
but
as well.
Dollar, he could be the tide changer.
Oh, but Navi's already dead. That's the Pulse Bomb down in onto the Ana. They get rid of him. Dollar going to need a massive Graviton Surge. With everybody following up right now, has no energy. Will get popped up the 40, but he gets taken down as Fleta draws a Dragon Blade, looking for more. The Graviton Surge does make it through.
Double.
And Creed gets the double kill with that self-destruct. The triple just about as Weasel gets popped out of his own mech.
Quartermain's doing a lot here. Remember, he's stopping the payload from moving. This will allow respawns. So there is going to be a last-second contest, almost certainly, unless Modern can really hold people up.
I mean, he gets taken down now, so Quartermain not going to be able to join in on the fight for a little while here. That's going to be the boost coming through. Tidala goes into the back line, takes out Kisu. Modern has fallen. You can see Fleta pushing forward, trying to get the contest, but cannot find it, and a Freak of Freaks managed to hold after not capping point B.
And with all those ultimates, the Graviton Surge into the delay from Quartermain stopped there from actually being the contest on the cart, the push they needed. Contest came in from the teammates. Great job, Quartermain. We called him the Rap God because of his out-of-game rapping ability. He was the quarterback there, and it worked out really well as we're all tied up going into our first break.
Yeah, really good showing as well from a Toon. Good performance, especially on that first point with the McCree. Building up very quickly, having that shutdown on Fleta for the longest time, is buying them so much. So if they hadn't held that point A as long as they did, point B almost certainly would have gone over to them.
But I'm feeling good. This feels more like winners bracket games we saw earlier in the week. The level of play has jumped up. Both teams are here to play. Both want that prize. They want to go into this long break done with the day and not have to wait for a 10 p.m. match to decide their fate to Apex.
Well, speaking of break, we will be going to a quick one here. Currently tied up 1-1. Afrika evening the score, not letting Flashlux go to match point. They're not going to go down with a fight. We had a 5-game set the last time these guys played. It's looking like it's going to be that yet again.
Yeah, fingers crossed from me at least. I think it's time for that break.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to that break. When we come back, we'll have our third map. We'll see who will take the lead in this series, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Apex Challengers Super Week. We're back off our first two maps there. Tied 1-1 series between Flashlux and Afrika Freaks Red, keeping things competitive. Flashlux able to pick up the win 2-0 on Ilios, and then Afrika firing back on Hollywood, their map of choice. So now, choice is back into the hands of Flashlux. See where they want to go, as they're going to be looking for a 2-point capture.
And while it's an esports morning here at 1:47 p.m. Korean Standard Time, both teams looking pretty damn on point. No rust shining through in our first two maps, so you're right. We'll see where we're going for control point. The two capture points, sorry. Saw some Volskaya yesterday. I'm hoping to see some more Hanamura. The cherry blossom still in bloom over in Korea, so it feels topical. Hanamura, one of the options.
Never thought I'd hear you say that, Papa Smithy, that you wanted Hanamura.
I mean, I'll take Temple of Anubis, so.
All right, well, you won't get it.
I get exactly what I wanted first. Nice.
The reverse psychology. Hanamura does come out, selected by Flashlux. See how they fare on this. Volskaya was in the map pool. These guys squared off last time, not today.
Anubis and Hanamura will be our map pool today, which is fun. I can appreciate both of those more than Volskaya, at least. So
that's true.
I'll take my wins where I can. So some cherry blossoms, some Overwatch in the afternoon.
See,
what more can we ask?
I can agree with you on that one. Whereas Atlas very much prefers Volskaya for some odd reason.
We don't talk about Atlas on this stream anymore. We have an Atlas-free day today, so let's embrace it.
Feels good, man. If you're watching at home, Atlas, I love you.
I got nothing to say to him.
All right, well, there you go. I'll play the PC today. You can be the aggressive one.
Good cop, bad cop, Kilios.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's go ahead. Not waste any more time. Jump on to our third map. Hanamura, see who's going to take the lead in this series. Flashlux or Afrika Freaks Red.
I get it.
Welcome back to Seoul, South Korea via Hanamura, which cherry blossoms in bloom here and on the field of battle, which is fun to see. Although they're starting to go away, Achilles. We're losing our cherry blossoms for the year.
Yeah, they don't last too long. They just kind of bloom and then they go away. But I don't. Maybe Japan holds theirs for longer, because I mean I don't think I've never seen cherry blossoms go away in Hanamura.
All I learned
Game's
2
been out
days
for a
ago.
year.
All I learned 2 days ago is that when the cherry blossoms are in bloom in the country and also on Hanamura, the result is good games. So that's exactly what we're looking for. The synergy is real.
All right, we got it.
We did
Figured
get
it
it
out.
also. Yeah, side points.
We've gotten it. It's the third time.
Nothing
so
wrong
much
with
getting it.
reliable getting it. As we're going to look for the pretty standard defense here coming through for Afrika Freaks Red. Toon jumping on the Soldier, as you'd expect in this map. Although McCree Soldier, double hit scan set up for Afrika Freaks Red so far. Reed, usually we see on the Roadhog or focusing onto the Diva, so a bit of a surprise to see him on the McCree.
I'm really surprised we don't see the Roadhog coming through here, just trying to get those hooks through the choke point.
I mean, they've got all the defense against both Farah and the Genji, who we actually see here from Fleta, so risky stuff.
Here we go.
Fails actually opening with the Hanzo on attack. A lot of squishy members to potentially take away.
Yeah, he's pushing forward with this one. Going to be looking for those headshots. If he can find it. Right now, everybody playing back around the wall, so won't be able to get too much damage in. Coming with a flank, that high ground on the first point.
For one of those scatter arrow kills that we all know so well from competitive.
Sonic comes down, but this Reinhardt just sitting right in front of his way, so Rio does a good job of blocking with the shield, but it will fall after a bit of time. Shots coming through. There's the scatter. Does find Rio, so a nice opener for our first Hanzo of the week.
And with the static defense, when you run double hit scan, they've got no one to actually pressure the Hanzo. They're going to get a free cap off this Hanzo pick.
Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and take this. A very fast push. And all right, well, Hanzo working out. Let's see how long they want to stick with this one. Likely at least for an ultimate.
And that's the thing, is if you have the Dragon Strike on point B Hanamura, one of the best tools to claim it next to something like a Graviton Surge, you build it up very quickly as well. Now, one member falls, they'll be stalled out, but the Dragon Strike into a big Dragon Blade, and perhaps in the commotion, we can see an actual fast cap on Hanamura.
Yeah, I saw Wiso jumped off the side of the map. I thought maybe he was going to be looking for the swap over to the Zarya, as you say, for the Graviton Surge, but not happening here, at least not yet.
Back to the energy favorite of many moons ago, that would be the Graviton Surge Dragon Strike combo that's now outdated, but still very effective. Watching the two Hanzos, sorry,
here.
Genjis in the back line.
No way for him to get out of that, just surrounded by too many members. But coming through here from Fleta, now pushing forward. Dragonblade is available, and he's going to go ahead and draw this out, but the Nano Boost comes down onto the Reinhardt. He's just getting 3 swings in onto Fleta. He now gets the boost himself, gets 1 in, waking up Reinhardt, but still has not gone down. Bionic Grenade buying some more time, dashes through. They finally take him out, but they lose Veil in the process. Fleta does get Quartermain, dashing around, looking for a tune. They find him, and honestly, this could just be another cap coming in here, but double kill actually from Dala. That's going to buy so much time for Freaka Freaks as he takes out Fleta and Unis.
Yeah, no Reinhardt
Very
shield,
nice
no
block.
coverage there. On point B, Hanamura means the double kill pretty comfortably comes through. Veil had the Dragon Strike, never got a chance to use it, and now will switch off from the Hanzo. The surprise factor is gone there. So while it was a good push, no ticks. And now, of course, there being a bit of shuffling on the side of Flashlights probably means some eco pushes, which, if we've learned anything from 2-point capture, doesn't necessarily mean will lead to a capture.
Surprised he didn't just toss it through the wall, try to hit somebody on the point.
Hanzo died too early. I think he was picked off by Tracer.
I mean, at the spawn, could have done that, but that Rugo, Dragonblade gets drawn up, but Creed goes down immediately, so it's going to be completely wasted on that cooldown. Earth Shadow thrown down, does find multiple members as Rio goes swinging away, pushing forward under the low ground, gets a pin in, Bionic Grenade, keeping them alive, and now Rio has to kite back as he's getting that heal denied coming through. Trying to make it up the stairs, but getting jumped on by the Winston and Veil will take him out eventually. Wiseau going down, doesn't get the pop on the self-destruct. Toon will find it. So still a decent hold here for Freaka Freaks. Flashlucks having to peel back.
Well, you still feel pretty good when you see the Earth Shatter come through from Rio. He's built up most of it on the backside, but it was an eco push from Flashlucks, just looking to farm up ultimates. Soon to have 5, and they can add also their own sound barrier on top of it. Maybe they actually will be primed to take the notoriously difficult to complete Hanamura point B. Don't really have any Wombo engage potential though, specifically with the Tracer, no AoE. It's going to be more about the Nano Blade for the side of Flashlucks.
Veil right now sitting on the awning here above the point, dashing into the back, tosses out the pulse bomb, won't find the stick. So not going to get that kill in onto Navi, but Fleta, he's going to try himself. It's that Nano Blade coming through, trying to swipe in onto Quartermain. One more would do it, but he gets bounced away. Can't find anything, no kills here for Fleta. They do eventually get the follow-up onto the Lucio, but still a very long fight ahead of Flashlights as they try to push back in. Losing Unis not going to be the greatest start of things. Self-destruct comes through, not going to find kills for Tidala this time around, but still just buying more and more time for Freaka Freaks on this defense. They started off above 7 minutes, now it's down to 3.5.
And I actually like to see Flashlucks change away from the Genji. While it's something that Fleta has played, he hasn't looked anywhere near as convincing on the Genji that he has, admittedly on the Pharah, but even towards his secondary hero pool, like for example, the Roadhog and the Soldier. So just over-investing in something they just don't seem to have the same practice on. We saw the Nano Blade get no kills at all. And it looks like they're going to try for it again, but 3 minutes, the time bank starts to go down.
Pulse Bomb comes out, that's going to force the Nano Boost here from a Freaka Freaks, just keeping Creed alive. He uses the whole hog as well, shoving them back. Self-destruct from Wiseau, not going to find anything, and he immediately gets gripped in. You can see Creed not really wanting too much of that. He'll go ahead and peel back. Wiseau, Nano boosted up. Just be walking back into this one. Sorry, not Nano boosted up. Just flaring red, that's all he is.
We're watching the point. Already we've had Fleta fall down with Dragonblade just coming up as he died. So difficult to claim this point without a significant man advantage. One support down is a good start for a Flashlucks. But Misu falls, Modern's gone.
Here we go. We know how this one goes. Sleep him into the charge, just drag him as far away as possible.
Doesn't get the pin, so actually delays further.
Yep.
Oh, poor baby.
Calculated. She is kind of the most abused character in this game.
We saw some disgusting things from Lunatic High
in
the Apex final as well. So
20-second delay.
Oh, that was an honor that time.
Double sleep dart, main wall.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
No diva for this push, but still Flashlucks are going further up than you might think.
Oh, coming through. They go ahead, lock down Modern, almost take him out, and they actually are able to find it. The double kill on the Flame Strike into the double from the swing, and the Penta comes through for Rio. Wiseau, the only one left alive. Good God. I gotta say, I've criticized Rio for his play throughout the duration of this tournament. He is absolutely showing up right now.
His charges certainly, I think, do beg a belief sometimes, but that time it was all about the Earth Shatter, getting exactly what they needed. Flashlucks didn't need to push up. Weeso didn't die, because Weeso wasn't there, remember. He was still coming from spawn. They're going to go up for the high ground once again. They've got the Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade even. But one already dead. It was Weeso who had pushed up during the spawn timers, and well, Flashlucks have got one try at it. They can go in one time with the Nano Blade, but so far the Nano Blades haven't been convincing from Fleeta, so feels like another team's going to be staggered and frustrated on point B Hanamura.
This means that all Afrika will have to do is get the double cap when they swap over to
Don't make it
attack.
sound too easy. It's not that academic.
Oh no, it's not easy. It's just all they have to do. Fleeta trying to poke forward, Dragon Blade ready to be drawn. It's 40 seconds left on the clock. The rest of Flashlucks working their way in. Tidala goes low, and you see that Pulse Bomb coming out from a tune. Won't find anyone. Gonna give them a little bit more of a window of safety.
Trying to harass Rio off by having him harassed by Genji and the rest of the members from different angles. They drop down. Think it's time for the big fight.
Tidala going forward, trying to contest here with Veil. He'll get the mech pop, throws out the self-destruct, but honestly, it's in a bad spot to really get anybody. Backvisor coming through, everybody trying to hug in behind Reinhardt to keep themselves safe, so Veil won't get a whole lot done.
Sleep on and the Nano Blade.
Yet again, yeah, another sleep coming through. Na'Vi just locking him down, and Modern is cleaning up the kills here. Poor Flashlucks have a decent opening, but they really don't have too many people on the point at the moment. Tidala buying plenty of time for the rest of Afrika Freaks to try to get in here for the respawn. No ticks coming through yet. Freak comes in. The Mei now being drawn out.
Even a single pick from Afrika Freaks Red could be massive. In overtime, those respawns are longer,
Earth
remember?
Shatter finds Modern. They go ahead. They take him out. Nanobo's then in onto the tune. He gets the recall. Has to dash to the backside to get that health pack. But still, Afrika keeping themselves healthy. Pulse Bomb not going to find anybody as he tries to contest forward here onto Veil. Won't get the kill, but now looking for Kisu. Recall comes in, jumps back down, looking for the Ana yet again.
No picks.
Truck won't find anything, but Rio does fall. Veil finally sniping out from the high ground.
He slept the fifth time.
But he gets slept yet again, so it won't have the rest of that Dragon Blade. Afrika trying to hold on, but they lose 4 members. It's just Na'Vi and Attune against the world, and I think that Flashlucks might just have it here in overtime, but it's still not even at the first tick on the control meter.
Remember,
Rio
the respawns are longer. It's
in.
just Winston. It's going to be more ticket. First control point, first checkpoint claim.
That's going to be the Mei. He has the Blizzard ready to go, but you can see already the D.Va looking for the eat. Won't find it. Drops it right at his feet. As they move out of this, Badala, Quartermain, hopping around, keeping themselves safe, keeping themselves in the point. But it's just too long on the respawns. They keep getting picked off one at a time. Flashlucks sticking in here, desperately trying to have the win. Rio going into the air, gets taken out. Second tick comes
This should
through.
be it.
Wall comes down, and that will be it. Flashlucks able to get it in overtime, but a 7-minute hold for Afrika Freaks.
And you have to say, the thing that should be taken away from Flashlucks after this game, you thought it could be earlier, is that the Dragon Blade is not enough. Na'Vi has been so
Na'Vi
on
is
form
crushing.
with the sleep darts, and in general, even when we haven't seen Na'Vi sleep dart, it wasn't like Fleeta was getting 3 or 4 Ks in this map. So they still have been largely frustrated with that strategy, and we know they have a laundry list of other strategies. We just saw them open with Hanzo, not just for a Sonar Arrow, but a Battle Hanzo that pulled off a lot of rewards. So they get the point, no time bank behind it. Afrika Freaks Red, they got a pretty easy win condition here. The full capture, and if they have any sort of time bank, they have a massive advantage.
Yeah, easily identifiable. Pulling it off. We'll see if they're able to do so. Looking like a dive comp for themselves, and actually will have Na'Vi over on that Zenyatta this time. As we will, well, it's got a minute to kind of flesh out the team comp, but right now it looks like that will be the case.
Good defensive setup from Flashlucks. They switched over to Veil on the Soldier right at the end of their push on Hanamura, and that seemed to be a very successful one for them. It was largely unhindered, apart from when Attune dived him during overtime and pulled off some good tracking. They're a bit slow in picking up some of the early kills. That's why it went so deep into overtime. Not actually a big factor when it comes to the win consideration, but still something we were able to observe. And now looking at the Flashlucks defense, it's an interesting one. So Fleeta will be moving away from the Genji on defense. Will be the Tracer trying to harass. I think a lot of pressure on Veil here because, you know, if you look at the dive com that's put together by Afrika Freaks Red, it's not like they have many answers to something. There's no McCree, for example, here to potentially deal with a Genji.
Yep. Navi just flashing it real quick to tease us yet again. Not going to see the
Sonar
reset.
arrow is probably going to be at least there from the Hanzo, but no
He'll
more.
toss that one out, yeah, but not going to be sticking in. He needs that Zenyatta. So just go ahead and complete this dive composition. So see how they pull this one off. Dala, the one piloting that Genji yet again. Screen goes back over onto the Diva. Navi is newly buffed Zenyatta. See if he can snipe anybody out with these orbs. For now, he's going to be poking forward and onto the point. Dala wraps around to the side here with
Bale's
Rio.
already dead.
Yeah, they get one. Really nice stop on the DPS there from the side of Flash Lux. Only have Fleta to rely on now with that Tracer, and he's already getting junked out. See, Dala pushing forward, trying to go ahead and block that sleep dart. Won't find it, gets taken out actually. Kiso finally winning that 1v1. He gets traded on by Rio as he jumps forward.
Yeah, the tank's falling down for Flash Lux, though. It feels like Afrika Freaks Red have managed to successfully push point A at the first time of asking.
This is dead. See Fleta coming back around the side, but he gets taken out immediately. Can't even get the recall off. So that will just be the first point completed here for Afrika Freaks, basically matching the pace that was set by Flash Lux on their attack.
They have the Transcendence already. Very fast Transcendence coming through, so accuracy from Na'Vi on point. And once they look for this snowball capture, they end up with a 6-minute time bank. There can only be one winner, you'd have to think. So they are in a great spot here as Afrika Freaks Red.
Yep, already pushing forward, trying to take down Eunice. Keeps himself alive, at least for the moment here. Transcendence has been popped as they shove in as a team. Everybody getting healed back up here to full. Pulse bomb coming down. Not going to find anything there for Attune. Self-destruct tossed out. 2 kills picked up for Flash Lux. Na'Vi and Quartermain both going down. Going to be a very nice delay. And you can see Creed just getting shoved into the wall. And he's just going to fly out, execute himself. Knows that the push is done.
By Cruel World. Tidal will back away.
I get the fadeaway kill there on the Veil with the help of Attune.
Those longer death timers, of course, only relevant in overtime, so you lose 2 on attack. You're not going to be picking anything up, and the Snowball Transcendence just wasn't enough for Afrika Freaks Red. Is on the second point, much less likely to find the angles to have it be a valuable pick, and that's why you see Na'Vi moving on to the Ana.
Yep. So I'm just going to be moving back to what's, tried and true for him.
And a blade
Jumping back
available.
in, yeah. Still another very aggressive push here. Attune has to force into that recall already. And a Dragon Blade coming through, trying to kill Veil, but can't find it. Just so much shielding coming out of that sound barrier keeps him alive. As well as that nano boost with the attack visor, just snipes him out. That's going to be the team wide pretty much as they finish off Quartermain. Be a bit of a delayed one as he tries to keep himself alive, but so much he can do.
And I like what Tidal is doing. The most successful strategy for actually taking Hanamura point B is a Graviton Surge wipe. You need to actually get the clump. Very often, very early in the fight, you see the defensive team diving down onto the point, ceding the high ground, and that's where the Graviton Surge really does most of the work. So, gonna have to be some eco pushes. Obviously, the Graviton Surge, as we learned from Bianca, can take a very long time to farm up. We'll see if he's able to keep up high energy and get the harass in, because for now, it's going to be pretty defensive, slow-moving stuff from Afrika Freaks Red.
He might take that as an insult, comparing his ulti building to Bianca's. At the moment, though, hasn't been moving up too considerably. Attune nearly getting him with that pulse bomb, but it actually just find Na'Vi, so taking him out of Diana. It's going to delay just a bit here for Afrika Freaks. Need that nano boost to be able to push forward with.
But it's kind of a delay into a delay. We already outlined how important specifically the Graviton Surge is. Tidal understands it by swapping over, so you see 27%, you can best believe you're not going to see a serious push from Afrika Freaks Red, and to be honest, they've got the 2 minutes to wait for the charge to come through, so they are under no pressure. This is the eco phase for all you Counter-Strike Go fans out there for Afrika Freaks Red, building up the ults and actually having a realistic chance of picking up a camp.
Creed already pushing in. Block out as much as he can to keep up that health back. Still rather low as Rio joins him on the low ground. The nano boost tossed out onto the Diva. Self-destruct coming through. He's going to have to peel back. His mech going to get popped. Tosses his own, but it's out near the entryway. So the explosion not going to clip anybody. So already a couple wasted ultimates here for the Afrika Freaks, and they're getting punished for it. 3 kills coming through. Creed Likely going to die as that mech goes down yet again. There
So
we go.
the theory there is that you use the nano boost because it still takes so much time to farm up specifically the graviton surge that you should have nano boost up around the same time anyway. And if they wasted a support ultimate, suddenly the graviton surge has that much more likelihood of success. But they couldn't force Eunice to use a defensive sound barrier, and they'd just end up investing with no result, which is a further frustration for a Freaka Red.
So now 3 minutes on the clock. Time has been reduced by about 4 minutes here. Control of that high ground. Jump forward does come in from Modern. Doesn't have the primal rage, so won't be able to stick around for too long. As Vale and Attune get into a duel. Sound barrier coming down for the Freaka Freaks. Eunice still holding on to his. You know what? I don't need it. Just wait until yours ticks down, and then I'll have mine for your shove-in. It's going to be the attack visor into the nano boost, coming out, looking for the picks. Tydala going to be the target, almost gets taken out. The barrier comes up, and he's trying to hide in behind the Reinhardt, but it doesn't matter. He gets taken out by Fleta. They are on the point. They get the first tick. All members of Afrika are falling, however, so this will not be a completion, but it's at least 1/3 of a cap coming in.
And this is what a Freaka Freaks Red wanted, because they got position on the cap and actually got some percentage. Now look at the ult meter. Now actually the ult conservation is going to be a big factor.
Why did Modern use Primal Rage?
In general, I feel like they invested too much. Why did they feel pressured enough to use Nanovisor? Maybe because they were so far out of position with the Ana and Soldier. They gave up the cap, and now look at what they have. They've got Graviton Surge. They have everything short of a Nano Boost. This should be the push for Freaka Freaks Red.
That was a rather bizarre use there by Modern. Could just get punished for it. The sound barrier does come down, so no more ultimates available at the moment here for Flashlights and Attack Visor from Tune. Finding quite a bit of damage, but no kills. Firing away from that high ground, trying to get onto Wiso. We see that Earth Shatter coming down onto the point. He wraps around from the side, helps find Wiso. They take out Kisu on top of it as Unis goes down. And finally, a Freaka Freaks. It took them several minutes, but they find the push, they find the cap.
And you were puzzled about the use of the Primal Rage in general, the Nanovisor being forced without there actually being any ults used by a Freaka Freaks Red was what lost the round, or at least lost the big time bank for the side of Flashlux. They overinvested when they didn't need to, and you have to say the eco phase there for Freaka Freaks Red, big success. They actually farmed out. They used the nano boost trying to force things, didn't get anything, but they finally got their ducks in a row. It took 3 minutes to build up the Graviton Surge, but a successful one. Good stuff there from a Freaka Freaks Red, and now they're big favorites to take Hanamura.
Yeah, certainly are. See that time bank coming in, minute and a half.
To get anything.
To get 1%.
So,
0.1%.
And what this means in this new world is that basically Flashlux needs to sit on the point. They can never look for high ground completely because Tracer rushes around, touch the point, it's over. I mean, so they have to park members on the point at all times.
Yeah, and that's a problem because you can't just play the choke, which is what you would love to do the majority of the time. Granted, sure, you do.
But think about all the maps where this is relevant, right? You think of like Eichenwald. Everyone wants to defend on the high ground and then drop down. Hey, you do that. Tracer's like, yep, won the game. So suddenly, on defense, you are in much more of a deficit compared to usual. You cannot be creative in any way, and that's why you see they have to sit on the point with multiple members because even a boop, you boop 2 people off, they're the only 2 people on. You got the point.
Yep. All right, well, here we go.
Speaking of boops.
Actually starting things off here, yeah, with a Pharah. So we'll have that Edie go ahead and knock people back.
There's 4 people here with knockbacks on the side of a Freaka Freaks Red.
Well, they're going to be flying in. Creed does go low. And they're just going to try to push everybody off so desperately. Minute, 12 seconds here. As they start to push in, Rio going low. Gets popped back up here. Navi just spamming those shots into him.
Flashlux need a person on the point at all times.
They find a tune. It's going to be a nice start here for Flood as he takes him out. No pesky Tracer. They're still poking in.
Attack has such a big advantage. They can come from so many different vantage points that Flashlux don't have access to because they need to stay on the point.
Creed almost goes down. You can see Freaka just going to go ahead and peel back. Haven't gotten too much as far as the ult economy is concerned. Barrage, the next closest thing, just about. Still at 60%, so it's a ways away.
Primal Rage is probably the gold standard ultimate here for a Freaka Freaks Red if you can think about it with their win condition.
Yeah, 40%, 50 now, and it's actually getting a lot of percentage down here for Rio.
2 kills already.
Low. Creed firing away, trying to pop this mech. Looks like he's able to do it. Gets the barrage, firing off. It's hooked in, but the nano boost is going to keep him alive. Now trying to find the kill here onto that Roadhog. The pulse bomb comes through. They wipe him off the face of the earth, and that is going to be Afrika taking their second map. Now at match point over top of Flashlight.
A minute and a half in this new 2-point capture, this new capture point meta is an eternity. You have no options as defense. You cannot look for creative defenses, watching all different vantage points, or even play the choke on Hanamura point A, because you will be found out. So a single ultimate was enough.
You can't play any of the chokes.
Nope.
Temple of Anubis, Volskaya. You already mentioned Eichenwald. Now here, Hanamura.
Overwatch has already had so many evolutions of whether you should have the high ground or the low ground. Even look at Hollywood, where it started high ground, then suddenly it was low ground, the quadra tank, triple tank meta, and then people went back to high ground. You don't have options. You have to sit on the point, or you can just be booped to victory in 1 minute and a half, as I said. Easy peasy for Freak Freaks Red, who have started the comeback now. 2 maps in a row, and Flashlock's going to have to be really specific on their map choice here. Otherwise, they might have to be playing again later in the day.
Yeah. Well, frustrating loss there for Flashlux. But have to just look forward to the next map. It's Route 66 or Dorado. The selection here today, and it will be Route 66.
Definitely a map you can consider the Farah on. That's for certain. It's at least on point A and point B.
Yeah. Very much could see that one come through. Dorado was the selection last time by Flashlux, and Afrika beat them, so just going to be changing things up. Move over to Route 66 and see how they fare with this.
Look a bit puzzled. Do Flashlux. The last one definitely did not go their way. Frustrated for so long.
Like, man, I want that coin
point
flip
B.
back.
It all probably feels a bit of a daze. Many esports players often wake up as late as 3 or 4 p.m., so 1 p.m. kickoff certainly. This could feel a bit like a dream, and if they are to go out early later today, could be a bit of a nightmare.
Exactly. Could definitely become a twisted dream, so let's see what happens. Let's see if they can go ahead, even it back up,
Match
take
point,
us to a
baby.
Game 5. It's match point for Afrika Red. One more win puts them into Apex Season 3. Let's see who takes it as we go to Route 66.
I get it.
Go away, says the sign, says the inscription. That's actually from Flashlux, to be clear.
Yeah,
Their English is pretty good.
they don't want to.
Nice scripting.
They don't want them here. So just let us, just free push all the way to the end. That'll be great.
I don't know how they got out of the spawn camp, wrote that down, and got back in there and waited very kindly and on pointly. So it feels like their manners went through a couple of different turns, but regardless. But now we see Freaks Red on top of Big Earl, the old meta of defense. We've definitely seen some more aggressive defenses on Route 66, but
Yeah.
it's always a bit tricky to decide whether to go for an aggressive defense when this is the one map that may decide Apex Season 3 for Freaks Red.
Going for the Soldier and McCree combo yet again.
This is saying we want to stand on the top of Big Earls and shoot people in the head as they walk by.
I'm still kind of, surprised to not see the Roadhog starting things up, because then at least you can get the hook in to the flashbang. You stun him up right on top of Big Earls, and then you kill him off.
It's kind of symbolic of something like Envious' rise in Season 1 when double hit scan was pretty much the norm. This
Here
could
we
be
go.
a really big displacement off of Big Earls.
Yeah, if he can just get that E in behind that Reinhardt shield, knock him down, it'd be pretty huge. Let's see though. Flat up. Already kicking things off, but has had McCree and Soldier to avoid, so could be rough times for him. As long as the accuracy is here for Afrika.
Platoon so far passes the accuracy test,
There
and
we
so
go.
does Creed.
Yeah, gets the headshot there on the Fleta.
They're
Now it's
pushing
going
up
to be
aggressively.
the opening here for Afrika to do just that. They go ahead and shove forward around the corner. Have control of the payload at the moment. See if they want to just opt back into the high ground of Big Earls, or if they're going to go ahead and stick around.
If they've
on
got
the ground
McCree
level.
Soldier, they're going back up there, Killers. That's always going to be the reality, and that's why I like to swap from Veil onto the Widowmaker. Static defense, there's 2 people pretty easy to pick here. Speaking of,
Looking for it, can't find it, and actually gets popped down low himself. We'll have to go ahead and retreat. Has that health pack available to him to self-sustain.
that's 1 down. Creed's dead. Also Ty Dollar on the back end.
Yeah, Fleta doing the work here. Veil just tries to find these opening shots. Rio charges in, gets taken down by Kisu, and honestly, a big opening here for Flashlux to go ahead and get the shove forward.
And when you do have the McCree Soldier, whenever Genji gets into the backline, whenever that static defense erupts, it's very often going to be a massive push because all Soldier can do is hightail it out of there. They don't have a Roadhog to look for a hook and potentially look for a delay. They may make a last-second contest, and we do see Rio back on the point.
They are pushing in here. Veil goes low as he tries to kite back.
He's
but
in a no man's
Fleta
land.
jumps in onto a tune yet again, kills him with a dash forward. And Creed goes down, so already the DPS members have fallen. Rio tossing out that Earth Shatter, just trying to buy some time. Won't find the pin, just wraps around the Winston. So not going to get the kill, and Quartermain gets taken out. So tossing out a couple ultimates here is a Freak of Freaks, just trying to buy more time before that cap comes in on point A, but it's an inevitability at this point.
And if we're going to reward Ty Dollar and in general Freak of Freaks Red for swapping over to Zarya to stick the landing on point B Hanamura, credit to Flashlux who returned to the Genji situation, not just opening Genji, adapting to the comp, the static defense from Flashlux, so from a Freak of Freaks Red, and the Widowmaker as well. The 1-2 punch, very, very successful.
Nice headshot there, already in on the Rio. He'll get topped off. Accuracy starting to come through here for Veil. For more of these shots, you just find the squishy members of Afrika, and it would be really massive play coming in, but Rio overstepping his boundaries. Does get taken out, and Modern finds the double kills. He gets Creed as well, midair.
And they're getting all these kills with no ults.
Oh,
5
God.
ults and the Widowmaker available. Only Widowmaker's ult, the one that's down, and this is a crazy push from Flashlux without any investment.
Yeah, this is an absolute slaughter. The only thing that they don't have is just Veil's ultimate here with the Widowmaker, but
And the Freak of Freaks
it's
Red,
not going to be too consequential. They know exactly where Freak is going to be coming from.
and they adapt to what they see, but of course you have to farm up the ult. You need those eco pushes, which allow
Oh.
for big payloads. Yep.
Sleep Dart yet again coming in here from Na'Vi. Locks down that nano-bladed Genji. He'll wake back up, dash again. Gonna try to still pick up a couple kills. Miso finds one as he just charges straight into Quartermain and takes him out. Fleta goes down. He's gonna buy a bit of time here for Freak of Freaks as that self-destruct finishes.
They actually have to invest some of those ults. Only one up, only the sound barrier available. Everything else invested as we're watching Creed. Eventually forced to back away. Yep, will be Tesla down.
And there we go, Modern chasing in, kills him with a leap. And Attune just not enough he can do here with this Tracer. He gets taken out, and this could just be the completion of the push here on to point B. 2 minutes, 40 seconds still on the clock for Flashlux. They're going to have a massive time bank to work with at the end
Last
of the
second
garage.
contest though, Quartermain on the point for a second. That stalls out the payload.
Gonna go for it, but yeah, Fleta, here he is. Back on top of that Pharah. Sound barrier coming down. Creed slicing away with a blade as best as he can, but isn't coming up with much, and you can see Attune as well. Tac Visor gets popped. Still alive for the moment. Will get taken down in the end. Fleta just rotates over, gets rid of the other DPS.
I don't know about that nano boost with 3 members already down.
Yeah, a bit ill-advised here for sure. Just desperately trying to buy more time, but there's still 2 minutes on the clock. Could have just saved it for the final push. Trying to defend there. Rio will get cleaned up. The unofficial team wipe comes through, and you can see still the swaps coming in from Afrika. And this isn't so much adaptive play. It looks more like they're a bit lost with how much they're swapping up these heroes. Creed going over to the Roadhog, now deciding on the McCree, now going to the Diva. They can't make up their minds.
And it's one of those things where it feels like it's a battle of rock, paper, scissors a lot in Overwatch, right? Making the swaps, but if you make the swaps while the enemy also has ultimates, it doesn't matter if you have the favorable pick, if you have an ult disadvantage. And bringing a knife to a rock, paper, scissors battle was Flashlux for the longest time, and that's been the difference.
Quartermain already getting opened up on it. Na'Vi goes down as well. Pulse Bomb comes through. Rio taken out. 3 kills. 4 very swiftly acquired for Flashlux as they continue this monstrous push with an absolutely massive time bank. 2 minutes, 40 seconds, and just a couple meters away.
Yeah, it's going to be a single contested killers, but no ults available for Afrika, so you find it hard to believe that this will not be a 2+ minute time bank.
No Graviton Surge. That's going to be the boost coming through here onto Modern. Has the Primal Rage ready to go, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need that yet. Just can fire away with the Tesla gun. Jumping in onto Attune. Will get flashbang, but he can still smack around the Cowboy as much as he pleases. And Flashlux just continuing. Is contested at the moment, but still winning out on these exchanges. Creed goes down. They do trade one here onto Veils. Attune finds the kill. Rio just duking it out with Tidal in the background. He's just trying desperately to get that Graviton Surge up. A couple more percentage will have it. Can they get the kills off the backside of it?
And they've got the stall here, 3 down, the Mech and now Diva taken out. So there's still hope for Freak of Freaks Red when it comes to the hold. Flashlux be looking for the push, but against 4 ultimates, double Graviton Surge available. 1 for each team respectively. They finally held it. Well, the big factor there was Quartermain was on the payload the whole time, then used the sound barrier that he built up to buy time for respawns. That worked out for Afrika.
All right, Rio, you need the most Kaiser-looking Earth Shatter ever.
There
He
it
actually
is.
quite finds it. 4 members get taken down. Yeah, finds the pin, but no one has died yet. Sound barrier does come through from Flashlux, keeping them up at least for the moment. Self-destruct tosses to the backside. Don't find anything yet. Now Flat is tossing out the Graviton Surge. High energy Zarya. Gonna be very deadly to deal with. Bomb gets tossed out by Vale. Won't find anything in the Electric Cowboy. Won't get much done either with that Deadeye. Afrika just desperately trying to hold on, but they're still the one losing members. Rio and Creed currently dead as the payload continues to push forward. A couple more meters, a couple more seconds of pushing.
Quartermain's on the
is
cart, and he's
all
getting rid
they
of
need.
him.
Modern pushing in, almost has an Earth Shatter of his own. It does come up 1.5 meters. 1 meter, Earth Shatter thrown down here by Rio. Finds the lockdown, but still, Afrika Freaks are losing too much. 2 members left. Quartermain tosses out the sound barrier. It does not matter. They get the push, but a decent hold from Afrika. 36 seconds left on the clock.
And so much love for Quartermain, who 2 pushes in a row bounce around the back of the cart. Flashlux not respecting him, focusing on the respawns, and he bought maybe a minute and a half solely through Lucio play. The first time with the sound barrier, that time finally got the sound barrier as the cart was finally being put into the parking spot. So a good hold, given the scenario, given how much free pushing we saw from Flashlux, means there will be a time bank, but not a massive one for Flashlux.
Yeah. But now still pressure on Afrika. Have to go all the way to the finish, which has not been an easy task for a lot of the teams in this tournament.
See if they have the same sort of uninterrupted pushing phases that allow for the inevitable cavalcade of respawns slowing you down at the end of the 3rd point. Looking at Flashlux and their defense, we were surprised to see Afrika Freaks Red go for that very static defense with double hit scan. Still waiting for Fleta actually to make his choice. For now, Vale certainly will not be necessarily bound to the top of Big Earls, because he'll be running the Tracer. Fleta will be going Genji. So see, Flashlux have a very different ideology to what we saw from the side of Afrika Freaks Red. And kind of the theory here is that, sure, you may not have the oppressive Big Earl hold that you might if you went for double hit scan and get the headshots off, but you just have so many annoying mosquitoes or flies that hang around the payload that the theory is that you still shave off more time, even if you're less likely to full hold point 1. You shave off more time because it's always someone diving in to contest the supports, but also contest the payload.
Yeah. All right, we'll see how this one manages, how they fare with this. As Navi just going to be looking to open up with that Hanzo arrow, get a spot, does see a couple people. So knows that they're playing around this train car ramp.
Very aggressive defense here, no Big Earls like we predicted. Will mean there should be some big pushes if some picks come through from Afrika Red.
Needs to be careful. Creed coming out here with this Roadhog, which he's shown some pretty significant proficiency on.
We haven't seen a lot of Roadhog today because of that double DPS, but a single hook can really stop the aggressive defense from Flashlux.
Barely misses his one on the Veil. That's going to give him an opening to push for. Trying to get the kill in, and he does, despite the fact that the Orb of Harmony was coming through there from Navi. Just so much damage from those headshots fired out.
Very quick farming of that ultimate, the Pulse Bomb for Vale. And look at this. Cart already stalled out for 45 seconds, even before the first bend, and that's the advantage of these aggressive defenses that can go so wrong so quickly.
Yep, Tune though. Now getting that Deadeye up, needs to be careful. Gonna go ahead and pop this one, the barrier down here for the Winston, keeping him safe. The D.Va trying to block, but still actually gets popped out of the back. They will find that, but the Pulse Bomb into the back line takes out Quartermain and Datoon. Vale finally finding the opening for that one. Flashlight still losing out on multiple members, but Tidala is going to look to try to make this one a wipe as he pulls out that Dragon Blade.
Come back here, Lucio.
Trying to get on top of Unis, but actually loses the exchange, goes down.
Lucio buffs, baby.
All right. The left click just ripping right through him. Unis just contesting as long as he can. Knows that it's going to be over, so just buys them a couple extra seconds off the time bank, and now it's 2.5 minutes that Afrika have left to try to shove this one forward.
Flare does have the Dragon Blade, and you know that contest will come very, very soon when they find the right angle for engage. Nano Blade available for Flashlux. They want to keep this as long as possible on the .1 push.
Well, Modern already goes down, so a nice little step in the right direction here for Freak of Freaks.
Kind of strange there from Modern, disconnected. Could have just taken the nano boost if there was some time, and then had the Dragon Blade on the back end, but instead just gives up his life for free with no Primal Rage. Fleta and Tidal fueling a lot, but Fleta forced out, dies on the back end. This might actually be a free push because the respawns are heavily delayed.
Yeah.
A half-hearted investment there from Flashlucks to contest, but not a full contest, and they're going to need someone to buy time if they're not just going to lose point one.
Really good. Basically, team wipe coming in there for Freak of Freaks, but a delayed one. Modern jumping in, has that Primal Range up, but he still gets taken out so swiftly. Push.
Last second
completed.
contest.
Yeah, 0.3 meters here. Obviously, Flashlucks just want to drain as much time as they possibly can. They're getting ripped apart. Na'Vi, beautiful target selection here with these disco orbs, and communication is clearly coming through from Afrika, because as soon as that orb goes out, everybody turns onto that person and they burn right through them. And now Afrika, they finally get the cap. They have just under 4 minutes left to go, but they're going to have 6 ultimates.
And you definitely get the frustration of being an analyst on the promotion tournament with how well Flashlucks played the first step of the aggressive defense, and then how they just seem to misunderstand that they need to get their ducks in a row to actually use the nano blade that they've been sitting on for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes because of Modern dying, and then the rest of them just kind of flowing in, looking to harass and getting picked, not respecting the Roadhog, not respecting the pick power. Sure, they have ults, but they gave up a point one they could have held a lot longer.
Yeah, I mean, at that point you could have had 1.5 more Dragon Blades, but they don't use it yet. That self-destruct did get a kill onto Creed, but they lose Kisu, and now Tidal drawing his own Dragon Blade. Goes forward, takes out Fleta as Na'Vi goes down. And Freak of Freak should be able to continue this push. Just need to get rid of this pesky Tracer that's buying so much time for Flashlucks. They finally get Veil in that Tracer duel right as Modern arrives, but you can see the target selection again is so concise from Freak of Freaks.
But don't worry, Flashlucks are still holding on to their nano blade. They might actually have it for the next map, if that's how it works in Overwatch, right? You can just hold it in the bank,
It's
right?
a carryover.
It's an ult bank. It's like a time bank, same thing.
Yeah.
The longer you hold on to it, the stronger it is. I'm pretty sure it's 100% damage amplification now for the Ana. They need to find a spot. They just seem to be unwilling to use their ultimate. That's why you have to make a joke, because they've been sitting on Nanoblade for 3 minutes now. This is a record, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty odd to see. There we go, they finally use it. But going into the back line, not going to get slept darted here this time around by Na'Vi. Let's find the 1 kill. Not much else here from him, but the team as a whole doing rather well as they finish off 4 members as the Quartermain goes down. So a good hold now, just under 2 minutes for Freak of Freaks to complete this push.
The one decent thing for not using Nanoblade just as the cart comes through is you have a big terrain disadvantage due to the respawns coming through from a Freak of Freaks red. So it's actually better to let the cart push a bit before you invest something like these ultimates. So you have some pretty decent defense structure. It's very hard for Freak of Freaks red to come in. Look at this, Reaper. They don't have a nano boost. That's usually why you swap to Reaper, because he's so efficient with only a nano boost. Not the Beyblade, but just these hand cannons taking down tanks.
Yeah, but look at this, Creed getting hounded down and taken out. Veil and Fleta just piling in on top of it. The sound barrier comes through from Flashlucks as they try to just maintain this hold and work that clock down underneath a minute. Two pushing forward, can't make it into the Wraith form, goes down. Find a couple kills to open up. Pulse Bomb won't find a kill here. Now Rio popping that Primal Rage, gonna try to stick around, jumps away from that self-destruct, coming back in. But now he's gonna be met with Modern, who has his own Primal Rage ready to go.
Fight continues here. Watching Tidal, still hasn't invested the Dragon Blade. Finally does. First swipe gets nothing. Wants to get onto Kisu. That's the big story. Kisu hasn't been able to do his best impression of Na'Vi when it comes to Seek darts.
Finally gets him. Now it's just going to be ring around the rosy here for these Genjis. Tidal going low, but with the arrival of Modern, have an unfair advantage.
But look at the
take
cart.
him out.
On the cart, though, the Reaper's been able to sit on the cart, take out everyone contesting it. And regardless of what we saw on screen a moment ago, this is a good push from a Freak of Freaks red, pushing in. Time Bank starts to become a worry. They certainly can't have too many more lost engages. Last second drop down from Flashlight.
Here we go, already the hook in, but the Tracer makes it out with a recall, keeping themselves alive. Whole hog pop, just trying to shove everybody as far back as possible, but the Diva is there to eat it with a right click. Staying alive, and Na'Vi goes down yet again on the backside of the fight with that Dragon Blade.
And he gets one member, the Nano Blade gets one, and the turnaround from Freak of Freaks red, 3 already.
Heavy trades, that's going to be the Death Blossom coming through. Diva blocking quite a bit, but Wiso, he has to peel back. The mech still gets popped. He will go down, and this will be a completed push onto point B for a Freak of Freaks, but now just 1.5 minutes left for them to shove all the way to the end.
And usually it's a spinny top, but this time the Reaper has been the guardian of the cart. Sit on the cart, stop people contesting it, actually get pushing, while Genjis and Traces are diving around the map, and that was actually super successful. So the static nature of Reaper can certainly be exploited in different scenarios, but he did his guardian job. They get the payload around that final bend, and there's a minute here, so only one real fight available to finish here for Flashlight.
Mel coming in, gets the stick, but the barrier's there from Tidal, keeping himself alive and just building up quite a bit of energy charge. So he'll be okay as they try to get it around this first corner or two. Not going to get pinned, but goes low as 2 kills get picked up here for Flashlux. Dala and Rio both going down.
Both Roadhogs dead means the cart will keep pushing, though. You see everyone else hiding backwards from Flashlux.
Oh, hook forward there. Fleto winning the Roadhog duel, catches him as he was taking a breath, trying to get some health back. So this is buying so much time here for Flashlux. Just 25 more seconds that they have to hold to force this to a 5th and final game.
They're so close to Aldous. If Fleta gets the whole hog, that should be the pushback needed to stop the full push coming in for a Freak of Freaks. Remember, they have to finish the map in this particular juncture.
He's looking for it, but Creed has the whole hog first. Diva body blocking quite a bit. Pulse Bomb comes down, won't find anything, but Rio has gotten taken out on the backside of that one now. That's going to be the sound barrier thrown down by Flashlux and Earth Shatter to match. And they are just going to sweep through a Freak of Freaks into overtime. They take out Quartermain. They take the map. They're taking us to game number 5. Flashlux, their hopes have not been dashed yet.
Yeah, Flashlux's full push was enough to stop them from allowing a Freak of Freaks Red a window into Apex for now. The battle here for the 5th and close to final spot of Apex is going to a last game, and I've really enjoyed the level of play, the adaptation. Sometimes the swaps have come at the wrong time, but they've always had good thought behind them. And even the Reaper was very successful, all things considered. Dive comp well executed, dive comp on defense well executed by Flashlux at the start. Still things to work on. This is a great VOD for both teams to review as they move into whether it's Apex or Challengers, because there's a lot to learn, but a lot to like for both Flashlux and a Freak of Freaks Red.
Yeah, good adaptation. I mean, good, really forward aggressive play from Flashlux to start off that second half of the map, delaying so much time for Afrika to get the push started.
It almost felt like it went better than expected, given that they were like, wait, how do we play the last bit of this?
I mean, usually when you try something like that, your team gets wiped, they get a free push to point A, and then you're just like, man, we never should have done this. But Flashlux, they played it to a T. It was really well done, and now we move over to our 5th and final map, Kings Row or Eichenwald. Take your pick, and it will be Kings Row, so you finally get one, Papa Smithy.
Kings Row, finally, one of the classic maps. Of all the hybrid maps, it's definitely the one that seems to get full pushed the most, so we'll be seeing plenty of Overwatch. Not expecting a full hold from either side. It all comes down. It's going to be a really fun last point. I hope we see at least a little bit more Pharah, because that's always my favorite from Fleta. Both teams have shown a lot to like. Maybe not double hit scan coming through from a Freak of Freaks Red, but everything else, pretty damn cool.
Yeah. We'll see if he does the Pharah. Can run that on the point A on attack.
Yep.
Pretty comfortably. You have a bit of space, but once you move into streets,
it's okay.
A little bit more condensed.
I mean, I think point 3 is where you really move away from
Yeah,
Pharah.
just don't do it. Unless you can be really cheeky with your Avenues approach. But Kings Row is all that stands between both of these teams making their way into Apex Season 3. Whoever comes up with a victory will find themselves there, trying to requalify both of these squads. Let's see who gets it as we go into our 5th and final map.
I get it.
Well, we can go through the checklist. We got it. But next question is, which of these teams will get it? Because it's a big one. Getting through to Apex and not having to wait. I mean, we look at the math. We know when these games starts. 7 p.m. for the first losers bracket elimination match means what? 9 p.m. conservatively for the next time Flashlux or Freak of Freaks Red will have to take to the matches. That's from now. Almost 7-8 hours they'll have to wait, think, regroup, and it's not going to be healthy practice while you're waiting between sets. So, in general, the reward here is massive, and it could be a frustrated Flashlux or a Freak of Freaks Red taking to the stage when we do see one of these teams again later today.
I know what I'm going to do with my time. I'm going to take a nice little power nap. Open up my laptop, maybe play some World of Warcraft, maybe even play some Uprising in Overwatch.
You're not going to take to ranked and bust up that MMR over there?
Not on my laptop. No, I'm not. I still need to finish my last place.
You don't need comfort when you're damn good at Kilios.
That's true.
So that's my solution.
All right,
I'm going to rank up, hit
my
that
skill will
Grandmaster
carry me.
today.
I'll go play on a Windows 98. I don't care. I'm too good. No, definitely not good enough for anything like that. But here we go. Push coming in from a Freak of Freaks Red. Tune opting into that McCree yet again. Solo DPS, and they already find a pick in onto Modern. It's going to be a nice start for them, and they work their way onto the point. Yep, starting to come through as they approach that first tick.
It's so hard to have a defensive formation with no Reinhardt of all members, the Reinhardt shield and the Reinhardt HP bar.
I mean, the last couple times we've seen Flashluck play this, they just up and concede the first point immediately, and it looks like that might just be the case. They go ahead, they peel back the Diva, not going to stick around. Vale does dash into the backside, trying to buy a little bit of time here for the team. It looks like they will pile back in to try to defend this, but it's so disjointed and they're just getting picked off one at a time that the cap comes through, and now it's about 6 minutes on the clock here for Freaka to get to B.
Yeah, you can understand the last second contest, but when Reinhardt dies, as you say, they seem to be a bit headless chickens when it comes to an all-in retreat. And then the streets phase, which has always been one of the most comfortable parts to push of King's Row, is very hard to put up a contest. So when you concede point A, you end up conceding a big time bank to the side of the team for pushing that much harder choke at the end of the map.
I mean, the only boon that Flashlucks really have is that Flynn and Modern are both pretty close to their ultimate, so Graviton Surge while you're working through the streets is very likely to catch at least 4 or 5
for a
members.
pulse bomb on the backside.
Tosses it out, doesn't find the stick, but Quarterman actually jumps right on top of it as if it was a grenade. He was trying to save his teammates. It's taken out, but now Rio charging forward, not going to connect onto anybody. Goes down. Flashlucks will be able to go ahead and get a nice solid pushback, shoving them back all the way to A.
Yeah, hard to defend this terrain, but still good to get a team fight victory. One storyline we didn't talk about is that these two Ryans in this map are probably the weakest Ryans we've seen so far this tournament. Rio new to a Freak of Freaks Red, big charge heavy as we've all felt in ranked, whereas Modern's Earth Shatters have been on struggle streets. So
yeah.
Earth Shatter is up. Lots of combo it with. The Toon opens up his ultimate, gets booped.
Oh, Deadeye, but he does get booped. He goes straight into that Earth Shatter, into the pan. Rio will exchange one back as he gets rid of Modern.
Almost has ult. There it is.
That's going to be the, yeah, Graviton Surge ready to go here as he just goes ahead, burns away.
Big sleep.
At Weeso, and he's slept down, and that's going to be Self-Struck coming through. Does not die. Stays alive, at least for the moment. Gets that Graviton Surge thrown down. Health pack comes through, and honestly, a triple kill picked up here for Rio. Quadra, as it comes through, nearly the team wipe for a Freak of Freaks on the Flashlucks. Good turnaround despite the engagement coming and starting from Flashlucks.
Yeah, it looked like it would be a really consequential play there when they slept the Zarya, but it didn't end up mattering. The ult didn't kill, like you mentioned, because he lived with the extra damage reduction from the nano boost. And they get a big push. So far, no contest, although you have to think one's coming in. This is usually the spot the teams make a big defense. And here it is.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, massive Graviton Surge tossed out. Vale not having that pulse bomb to toss in on top of it. I think he did, and it got eaten. Couldn't quite see. Either way, dashing around, trying to build up for another one. Will get smacked by the hammer, but he's able to take down Rio before he falls. And that will be a nice little hold here for Flashlucks, just in front of point B, but still 3 minutes on the clock for Freak of Freaks Red. You have to expect that with ultimates getting ready to roll in on multiple members, they should be able to get this push.
But this is the only spot of the streets phase where there's a big defender's advantage when it comes to positioning, so it can actually be stalled out exactly where you see the cart now. So often the drop down is successful. Speaking of success,
you get the pin Bill. He goes really deep and takes so much damage right off the bat. Has to go ahead and kite back. Deadeye, but it's just way too far behind. Wrapped around the other corner, looking for somebody maybe on
looking
the
for
flank.
Tracer.
Yeah.
Tracer was in the back line. Thought if you get a quick kill and then cancel the Deadeye, get a pick there, but no picks to be given, and now another engage.
Yeah, ultimately couldn't get it. That's going to be the nano boost coming through the lockdown Quartermain with that Earth Shatter. The shield from the Zarya comes through, keeping him alive. Pin comes out. He does find Rio, but it's already 2-3 now. Traded back here in favor of Afrika as they try to keep that payload moving. Self-destruct tossed up by Creed. Not going to find anybody, but it pops Modern rather low, and he's going to have to peel back.
This will be...
Doesn't get the chance. He goes down, and the nano boost is here. Nope, never mind, he was just glowing.
Yeah, this will be the capture, and the big takeaway there, Achilles, that Modern thought he had the pick onto Quartermain, but the bubble and the missed charge meant that actually there was no Reinhardt shield, and the Freak of Freaks Red ran through. The rest didn't even have to invest ultimate, so at ult advantage. Now the push starts. Get to that final choke, and we're close to Freak Freaks Red, full pushing Kings Row.
Well, Fleta does have that Graviton Surge, but he's going to get knocked down first and foremost here. He's able to go ahead, toss one out here is Tydala, and they just go ahead and scoop up 3 swift kills. Wiso falls as well. Kiso goes down. There's going to be a massive push around this corner for a Freak of Freaks. They still have 3 minutes on the clock.
And they're not even going to allow Flashbox to get the defensive formation that usually is the stagnation. That's why Modern has to go back into the cap. It's going to be last second, if anything, but not a defensive flank from Flashlux.
Flashlux still does have quite a many few ultimates at the disposal, nearly 6. Graviton Surge and Fail with that Pulse Bomb could make for a big bang to come out on this defense. See if they can pull it off. Quartermain has that sound barrier ready to go. As soon as they get locked up, expect to see that one come out. Shatter comes down. Self-destruct gonna get blocked. Haven't seen much else yet. Nano Boost thrown down onto Tydala, trying to burn through these members, trying to get that Graviton Surge ready to go here for a Freak Up, but they have to just kite backward. They'll get up to 50%, but still the push continues here for Flashlux.
A lot of respect here from a Freak of Freaks Red. They knew that Fleta had not ulted in a long time, respecting with a big amount of space between their front line and all the DPSs means that no Graviton Surge available till now.
Oh, he comes in from behind. They did not see him. He drops it directly on top of him. The Healed and I coming through at Modern, just swinging his way to victory. 3 kills picked up here by the Reinhardt and Afrika in full retreat mode.
Now that feel when you respect the ult until you don't check your corners, and that was a really nice ultimate, exactly what Fleta was holding on to the ult for. You might have said Flashlux held on to ults too much on the previous map, but beautifully done there. It's a big investment though. They will have just a single, just the Earth Shatter for defense.
Yeah, it's still multiple on the way here for Afrika. Earth Shatter of their own now available. Dala close to yet another Graviton Surge. We saw how crucial that was for them the last time around. See if they can replicate that one. Earth Shatter coming through, not going to find anything. The Reinhardt shield just body blocking the entire thing, so Rio now has the advantage.
No Electric Cowboy either, just going to be a turn once again fishing for an ult he doesn't find.
Yep, but Quartermain does get picked off as Vale pops him with that Pulse Bomb. Rio pushing in, looking for an opening, waiting for Modern to drop that shield, but he actually jumps backward and falls off the map. Down into the Foundry he goes, and Afrika yet again going to have to kite backward with just a minute left on the clock. It's been a fantastic time by Flashlux.
Yeah, really good defense from them. It looked like they would just be spawn camped and never get a defensive formation, but finally got one. Did Flashlux, and so far have stuck the landing well. Single push left for a Freak of Freaks Red. They've got a lot of tools. They can just launch the self-destruct and try and flip around the Reinhardt. If Rio's shield drops, this can be, sorry, if with Modern's shield drops, anything can happen for a Freak of Freaks Red.
Yeah, self-destruct tossed out there. Not going to find anything here for Wiso. Back into the mech as they try to push forward. That's going to find 2. Goes in with the charge. Pins Fleta, takes him out. And he has a Graviton Surge available to him, but won't be able to use it. Self-destruct finds the pop onto Wiso's mech, and Modern goes down. Freak of Freaks starting to clean house. 5 kills already coming through for them. The team wipe, very delayed, comes out. They'll get one last-ditch effort on this contest here with Flashlux, but they're just so damn close to losing this.
Toon was the only one who died. One of the DPS pick is going to come back as Bastion slowly. Not there yet.
Not there. Graviton Surge still available. Fleta trying to poke in where he can. Drops it directly in on top of the payload, but the sound barrier comes out from Quartermain.
The Bastion.
Now the Bastion coming in, just trying to chunk out where he can. Gets hit up by that Flame Strike. Still going to be okay. Looking for a pick in onto Bale, who goes back with the recall. Staying alive, at least for the moment, has to get that reload off. 30%.
He's not contesting the payload.
Yeah, they're going down. Creed's going to get popped out of the mech. Modern just swinging away, taking out the D.Va. Actually, no, he finds the hit, but still can't find the push. The hold is completed. Flashlux barely managed to stop that push coming through from a Freak of Freaks. 0 time on the clock. Can't make it at the point C.
The Bastion pick only works if you have ults on the rest and your tanks are actually buying space and time. They weren't able to, and then of course he just ends up being a long-range artillery that can't contest the payload because he's stationary, and thus, in the end, the push is not successful. So Flashlux, if they are to go right now to Apex Season 3, they must push straight through Kings Row effectively. And Kings Row's being pushed through, which of course is achievable, is what separates them from Apex right now, or that frustrating final match of Apex Super Week.
1 completion is all that stands between them. And regaining their spot, be the 5th team to do so here in this promotion tournament. And they would send Afrika down to face the winner of of our second match later on today, Rhinos Gaming Wings and MVP Infinity.
Just really excited to see both comps. I mean, we've seen so many switches, and kind of the frustration of when we've been casting most of these promotion matches, there's been a lot of stubbornness. And the best teams in the world are stubborn. We've seen Lunatic High in previous seasons be criticized for being too stubborn on their switches. We've seen a lot more switches today, not always at the opportune time, but always with thought behind them. And that's why I'm really excited to see what attack we're going to see, is because it's not just pharmacy. It's not just soldier tracer on defense. It is going to be sometimes double hit scan, sometimes full dive. FlashLux looking to open up, and it might be Veil jumping back on that Widowmaker.
Could be very crucial here for this opener if he can get some picks in.
Tune's
See just
feeling
how
the-
much he wants to play, because we've seen, you know, the really aggressive Widowmaker we've seen just go for that first shot and then immediately swap off.
Very similar defense here for a Freak of Freaks Red that FlashLux looks for. If they can find a way to take down Rio, and we already saw how much defense has to come through
Yep.
on the defense.
They'll try to find that hit. Now they know the Widowmaker is in. Popping in on top of the theater. Get a couple shots down onto Rio.
Fix yet.
No one squishy enough to get taken out here yet. Coming around the sidelines, you can find Quartermain. That'd be an absolutely massive opening here.
Yeah, either healer and these tanks' health pulls are so much more
Oh,
irrelevant.
there we go. Gets a tune at least.
It's a start.
Very nice one. Wraps around, getting on the high ground. Has perfect vision of the point. Trying to find that shot in onto Navi. Can't quite get it, but still is chunking down the tanks where he can. Quartermain pushing really far forward, trying to utilize that
Those left
increased
clicks
damage.
are deadly.
But Quartermain, yeah, pushing way too far forward, getting a bit greedy there, trying to get rid of the Widowmaker. Loses his life, and that's going to be a big opening here for FlashLux as they start to push in. Afrika still are currently contesting as Rio is in there, but you can see just how much damage
High energy.
Fleta is able to do. Yeah, 88 energy, ripping right through that Reinhardt, and now he's going to get the nano boost. In comes through.
That's two.
And then it's him going down immediately. Attune able to get the pop there onto Wiso. Gets hit up by that
baby.
flashbang, but oh my god. Fleta was ripping through a Modern, scooping up the kills with the flame strikes. And FlashLux have finally gone ahead and taken that first point. 5 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock.
Not quite taking down Tidala on the back end, so probably going to be seeing two Graviton Surge in just a couple of deep breaths.
God, Fleta, absolutely disgusting on this Zarya.
Now let's see how a Freak of Freaks Red approached defense on the streets phase. We saw a very aggressive defense from FlashLux using their ultimates, and then a strong contest right before point two. They're pushing up as well.
Hear that Deadeye coming through from Attune. Wrapped around into that side street. Won't get anything done, however. Has to get zoned back. Fleta doing a great job gatekeeping the stupid sound barrier. Coming down here from FlashLux as he pushes forward. Gets hit by that flashbang, but still no kill coming in. And pretty much single-handedly scaring a Freak of Freaks back around the corner.
Yeah, Freak of Freaks actually used their Graviton Surge. I believe it was eaten by the Diva. Got no value at all. And that means that the ult advantage plus the pushing advantage goes to FlashLux. They invest these ults. They might have 5+ minutes to push the final phase.
Be certainly devastating here for Freak
Yeah,
as
Fleta.
their hopes start draining away. Fleta pushing forward. Graviton Surge comes in, sticking right into the face of Attune, able to burn him out on top of Quartermain and Rio. 3 kills already picked up. Self-destruct finds one as Unis does fall, but still not enough to stop this push here for Freak of Freaks. FlashLux just going to keep on rolling. Modern pushing forward. Has that Earth Shatter ready to go. Should he need it, just buy more time, but should feel comfortable enough to go ahead and hold
Still
on
a
to the
contest at the last possible second.
They are moving forward. It's going to be the nano boost coming in onto Tidala. He gets locked down as that Earth Shatter comes through. Jedi as Veil has come back in here on this McCree looking for a pick. Can't find anything with a flashbang. Sound barrier comes out from Afrika, just buying more time, but Attune has fallen to that self-destruct from Wiso. Looking for an opening. Killing Quartermain would buy them some time, and Unis on the other side of the payload is able to do so. Graviton Surge here for Tidala, sucking in multiple members of FlashLux. They're actually getting ripped apart. A big defense for Freak of Freaks directly in front of point B. They'll get the team wipe unofficially. So it looks like they might just be delaying Wiso. Yeah, there we go. Sleeping on top of the payload.
It's so deceptive as you push in. You think you've claimed it, but you're still meters away. So solid meterage there as ult was available. Wasn't really going to be able to get back in the suit. So Wiso does die disconnected. Veil lived, but didn't have the shots he needed. All the AoE ults down for FlashLux, available for Freak of Freaks Red to hold the point. No Earth Shatter available. Now, no Graviton Surge available. Not that FlashLux have them either, but they're much closer. They look to stick the landing, but they'll probably have to overinvest just to get through to point 3.
See what happens. Coming in, gonna have that high ground advantage at the moment. We matched a little bit by a freak up, but they're gonna go ahead, drop back down, stand on top of the point. Fail poking in, gonna try to get that Deadeye back up, currently at 70%. More shots would net it for him, especially if he could pick off Quarterbane. Be a massive opening. The battle of the Reinhardts. Earthshatter coming through, not gonna connect onto anything. And now it's just gonna be a swing fest as Bonner does go low, gets a pin in. Actually, Rio dies to that self-destruct right before the pin comes through. It's gonna be a nice opening for Flashlucks yet again, finishing off Quarterbane, not allowing him to buy so much time like he has done during the past, during the duration of this series. That will be the completion on point B. 3 minutes that Afrika have to try to hold them off.
And if you're gonna miss the ult, at least have it be a true zoning ult. Everyone ran in different directions, no longer a defensive formation. They pick up the stragglers, they don't even have to invest into ultimates they didn't have, as Vale does ult just as we speak.
Pin comes through, trying to lock down, trying to get that kill on the Tidal. I can't quite find it. They chunk him out pretty low, as they do on Na'Vi. They actually come up with that one.
Graviton Surge could be the winner here, could be the cap of Flashlucks and send them to Apex.
See where Fleta can place. It's been playing so well already. Attune firing off of that Deadeye, not gonna find the hit.
But Eunice is dead. Had she had the sound barrier available, this might slow down the push from Flashlucks. Nope.
See, there's the Graviton Surge. Big Bionic Grenade coming through, but an Earth Shatter even larger.
Quadra.
Gets connected by Modern, knocking them all down, and Attune falls. Fleta so far forward with that nano boost, now just having to kill Na'Vi, the only one trying to contest it, but there it is. Congratulations, Flashlucks. You have re-qualified for Apex Season 3.
Excellent 5-game series. His Flashlucks still continue to be the giant killer. They are the David amongst the Goliaths of the Apex teams. No one knows quite how they've kept their spot in Apex now for 3 seasons. But they made some really good adjustments during this series. Both teams did. I think Flashlucks were the better on the day. But for a big organization like the Afrika Freaks, Red is going to have all their support staff around. Keep their spirits high, because they will have to play much later in the day, the final match to decide who will be going through the 6th out of 8th for Apex Season 3.
Yep. And on paper, you'd have to say the likely opponent that they're going to have is Rhinos Gaming Wings. MVP Infinity in their sets have only picked up 1 map in 3 best-of-5s. So currently just 1-9 at the moment. You can see, though, a bit distraught for Afrika Freaks Red. A very long wait to find out who their opponent is actually going to be. And even if it is Rhinos, they were barely able to take that set off of them yesterday.
Yeah, 2-hour best-of-5 as well to open up the day, but a really good one. Fun, smart movements from both teams. Flashlucks had a couple more ideas. Fleta, it feels like even now we have to add his Zarya play to the list of great things he's done. I don't know about the Genji, but it feels like everything else delivered in a massive way at different points of the best-of-5. He should definitely hold his head high. Kisu, who had struggled on Mercy previously, was largely on other heroes in this particular game and had a good game himself. Even Vale throwing in the Widowmaker that got them some advantages at different points. Flashlucks beefing up their hero pools, and it's a good benefit.
Yeah, Fleta